So again, friends, welcome to the top 32 of the Shadow Duelist Tournament. This is going to be the Shadow Duelist Axles Tournament, finding out who they are on November 23rd. Yesterday, we got to feature as many duels as we can from the pool of about 460 plus duelists. 9 rounds of craziness. We got to see some incredible matches, but what we're about to see is the best of the best in a new set of rules. Yesterday was 1 out of 1 for 25 minutes, but today is best 2 out of 3 for 45 minutes with some 2-minute times in between for side decking. So super excited to see what happens here. We'll try to get you a bracket as soon as we can, but this is the big one. This is to find out who will challenge the Shadow Duelist to unveil the celeb and win the mask on November 23rd. So hopefully we get to see who that is soon, who that challenger will be, but don't go away because the duels are coming right away. And they are. They really are. So out of YouTube mode here, we're just back into normal live Twitch shenanigans. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. Again, with 7 minutes, gosh, everything's crazy. Just yesterday, all the stuff we got to see, and again, the VOD is available on my YouTube channel. Like, you'll understand why I'm just like, oh man, we're going to see some duels. We're going to see some duels. And just that's what we're here for. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, excuse me, by the way. And really looking forward to this one, so good morning and welcome as we all kind of waltz on into here. You know, I don't have the prize list right in front of me, but I can pull that up because that's a great question on what our first place participant is going to get. It looks like first place gets an autographed Shadow Duelist mask, a Kashtira Fenrir Giant card, oh that's cool, a Steam Deck, a Master Duel backpack, a Time Wizard plush, and a Rescue Rabbit plush. Second place will get a Steam Deck, a Master Duel backpack, a Time Wizard plush, and a Rescue Rabbit plush. Third and fourth just get the Master Duel backpack, Time Wizard plush, and Rescue Rabbit plushie, which are still very cool. Fifth to eighth, they're going to be taking home a Time Wizard and Rescue Rabbit plush, and 9 to 16 get a Rescue Rabbit plush. And those are very coveted items. I think I might have some in the background here that I can grab. Yeah, I do have Time Wizard that I'll grab here. You know, people hang out at our booth at the San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con trying to earn this coveted Time Wizard. It's adorable. It's super retro, and I mean, people really like. They live for these, so even if somebody, you know, doesn't walk away with anything more than some of the plushes and stuff like that, those are really, really coveted items. So if they don't want them, I'm sure one of their friends will be like, oh my gosh, you got the Time Wizard. Are you serious? Okay. So, yeah, the Kashtira Fenrir, one of the like, most powerful cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And definitely Master Duel. It's had a love-hate relationship with the Forbidden Limited list, so was Kashtira Unicorn. So for that to be such a powerful card up there, that's just yours. Right? Nobody else is getting a Kashtira Fenrir Giant card. I don't know that they ever made a Kashtira Fenrir Giant card from like just like the general, maybe the Attack of the Giant card event for YCS Minneapolis when Darkwing Blast came out would be like the only time I could think that that might be there. But there was also like other choices. So that's pretty huge. That's huge. So there's some really good stuff on the line. Also the Steam Decks and the Master Duel backpacks are really, really nice. Great place to put your Steam Deck if you're about to duel. But yeah, we are again just about 4 minutes out, so it is about time to duel here. Okay, so we got the results. Cool. Let me see if I can add a roll here so I can be able to see. There we go. Okay, accidentally walked to the top 32 chat. Not the button we were trying to hit here. Alright, so a few minutes off. Still haven't heard if we have our bracket, but we'll be able to kind of figure out because the bracket basically is what we're seeing in front of us. So we've only got 31 duelists right now, so it looks like somebody needs to sit down very fast because if they're not here in about 3 minutes, then that's when the tournament begins. We don't want them to be late. We want every top 32 match to play out to the best of each duelist's ability here. Going to the amazement, or excuse me, announcement chat. I got Yu-Gi-Oh! On the brain. I'm saying amazement. Oh, okay. So somebody is going to get a bye then. Oh, that's unfortunate. So it's our top 31. Ugh. All right, so that's important to know. Thank you, Carl, for the update there. Pretty soon we're going to be going, and I think we she'll see who we got going. I think because we've got duelists in the chat, would love to certainly feature some of them as they begin. Now, here's the problem. You know, everybody wants to be on stream, and that's okay. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But do remember when you say, hey, I want to be the featured match, you're signing up for whatever that is. Could be the greatest duel of your life, may not be the greatest duel of your life because the cards just weren't giving you what you thought they were going to give you. So keep that in mind. No hurt feelings here. We're just going to showcase the best dueling that we possibly can today. All right, duelists are gearing up. And it is what it is. It is. It's you know, there's also what they call the commentator's curse. You're like, wow, they're about to win, and the person doesn't win, right? Or, oh no, how will they get out of this? And then they easily get out of that. So it's a hard business trying to predict the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. You know, without a Millennium Eye, too, I got 2 of these and none of the gold ones. Hey, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Ooh, my goodness. That's a little bit of a record. Hey, but you did great. You did great. I mean, if you want, we could technically just not feature anybody here. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. We'll make sure that everybody gets a turn. Everybody will get their chance to be star-studded here. Again, taking a look at... Yeah, I don't know that they do. Okay, we do. Okay, awesome. Just got the bracket. Yes. Okay, so we do have the bracket. Very, very cool. I'm going to post the bracket into the Discord. All right, game on. We're going to try that, Svetty. We will put that to the test. Because it is about to begin. So again, good luck to all our competitors here. Because the top 32 of the Shadow Duelist Tournament is about to begin. I cannot believe this. We're really doing it. You might notice that it says 31. Apparently, we did have a drop. Once we find out who that is, I'll update you off the bracket. But it looks like Shadow Gale at versus I Wish I Was Dead today. So they're actually getting a bye there, too. So, hey, top 32, you have 45 minutes. You may begin. It is time to duel. And we are going to start off with our first featured match here. Svetty, the runner-up of the previous Shadow Duelist Tournament, trying to bring it back. Notice that Fictinium did not make it to the top 32, so they were our first featured match yesterday. And the runner-up of the last Shadow Duelist Tournament is going to be our first featured match today. So it's time to duel, friends. Here we go. All right, so starting off with the Bestial Lubellion. Going to go ahead and discard that, trying to grab something. Hey, 100% try hard. It is time to 100% try hard. Grabbing that Bestial Magnamode here. And so then we are summoning out the Centurion Trudea. All right, Trudea's effect is going to activate. Is it good? Looks like it's not. We're going to see Psy-Frame Gear Gamma here. Going to negate the activated effect, possibly, unless Svetty has something to counter that with. Doesn't look like it, so going to go ahead and special summon Psy-Frame Gear Gamma. Find that Psy-Frame Gear driver from wherever it is. Looks like it was, luckily, in the deck for Noob Man. Trudea's effect is going to be negated, and Trudea will be destroyed, giving up the normal summon there. But it doesn't mean that Svetty's down and out. Setting a single card. See what we get after this. Looks like we're going to use Bestial Magma, targeting that Trudea, which was only there in the graveyard because of the Psy-Frame Gear Gamma. So putting that in defense mode. Trying to be really conservative with any life points. Obviously, since we're on day 2 here at single elimination, everything counts. Oh, but a Bestial Magnamut now being used as a quick effect now that a monster is controlled. So, Magnamut's going to banish the Bestial Lubellion, unfortunately not getting to use its effect to be summoned out here, and another Bestial Magnamut appears to activate its effect. We'll see if there's anything that can be used to counter it, but it looks like Svetty's going to let that go, and we'll reach the end phase, where both Bestial Magnamuts are going to search dragon monsters from the deck to the hand, starting off with Bestial Baldrake here, and then Noob Man will go ahead and grab their Bestial Magnamut target. There's some choices going to be Tenpai Dragon Gennoku. So it's Tenpai time. Immediately Svetty knowing that, hey, it's just going to be down and out here. So unfortunately, Kind of a rough sell there for that first duel. Just a lot of great counters there, giving 2 minutes until we can go ahead and redux back into the duel there for their side decking. And that's a little bit rough, right? There was nothing wrong that necessarily happened for either player. Just sometimes your opening hand has all the options you need, and sometimes it doesn't. Cyframes, very good, very powerful, able to get a lot of stuff done, and also destroying cards. Notice that most of the points of interaction in the hand, they don't usually destroy things, right? Maybe they will negate them, maybe they'll just stop the effect, but other than that, it usually doesn't get too crazy. But with the Cyframe monsters, it's a little different than that, right? It's going to end up destroying stuff, and so that might have been all she wrote. Now, granted, gave you that Dart, gave you that Trudeau in the graveyard. Very powerful, obviously, to be able to get Magnamut, but if there is another Bestial at the ready, there to get rid of anything you have, including the Bestial Lubellion, it's kind of difficult to get your game plan set up. So we shall see what happens here. Yeah, if Crossout Designator was in your hand, that might have been a difficult sell because obviously you want to use the Magnamut, but here's the Magnamut coming to get you, and unfortunately, well, did not happen. After we conclude this one, whether it's 2 out of 3 or just the first 2, then we'll go ahead and check out some of the other matches to get a little bit of insight and also take a look at the in-room replays as well, just to figure things out. So starting our duels today, it looks like Noobman took over Sveti, and Dead to Bread has beat Arai on the first one here. So just waiting for Sveti and Noobman to be ready. Didn't mean to rhyme that, but hey, we're dropping bars. All right, so just kind of gearing up here until it is time as we wait. All right, going into game 2 of our featured match here. Find out exactly what it is that's going on. And again, if you're just joining us, this is going to be game 2 of our featured match. Sveti not taking the first one, Noobman winning that. So we shall see how things go. That sounds like a tournament dispute thing. That's not going to be something that that I'm going to be able to help, so you're going to need to go ahead and reach out there. All right, so you guys are resetting this match. Okay, that makes sense. Just making sure. So to make sure you understand the rules in this, or they're ignoring the coin flip. So the surrender that we just saw is probably not a real surrender there. Just making sure that they're sitting back down. So while it says in-room replay and there's a scoop there, that's not a real one. We do have UWS Kaito won their first game against Eaton Cards, and Shankers won theirs against Jude Yu-Gi-Oh! So definitely some matches happening here. But it looks like we're going to go and jump back into this game the correct way. So very important that the players press the correct buttons there, because if not, they could lose, you know, what they were looking. And mistakes happen. It's not uncouth. It just kind of is what it is, right? We're still humans playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. I mean, maybe you are. I don't know what I am, but we'll figure it out as we go along. All right, so back to work here. We're going to activate Stand-Up Centurion. And then using the effect of Stand-Up Centurion, I'm going to go ahead and discard a card here to place something in the Spell and Trap zone. And that is going to be Centurion Trudea. So Trudea doing the run back immediately, like, hey, maybe we can't get this going. Trudea's effect activates, so no Ghost, Ogre, or Snow Rabbit to be seen. I'm going to go ahead and special summon itself and increase its level to 8. Now it's going to use its effect, so place the card back in the Spell and Trap zone, but oh, Centurion Trudea are going to be negated by Effect Valor, which should reduce its level back to 4. Alright, so resolve in here. And no, its effect is negated. Okay, so no, that was the Spell and Trap effect, so it is going to be 8. My apologies, Scholars of Duel Academy. But hey, 8 and 2. Still something viable here. Don't think we're doing any synchro shenanigans here because I don't see a tuner monster, but could still link off to make something like, well, I guess we'll have to find out. Play is passed back over to Noobman, who's just kind of like waiting to see, maybe activate something in response here. There is a monster control, but there doesn't seem to be too much going on in the graveyard. No goodies to eat up, just that Centurion Phalanx. Unless they made a Bestial that eats trap cards for a living. I don't think we're going to see any of those. But that's the graveyard. So New Man just kind of think their play out here. Certainly playing detective here. We're going to activate Max C. Kind of a possibly low impact Max C, because if there's only a few monsters here, then, you know, it's going to be what it is, right? It's going to be just maybe one draw, just kind of replacing the Max C here. So we are going to confirm those arrows, and it is SP Little Light. Not made of any monster from the extra deck, so it is going to be able to banish. Certainly a strong usage rate. Card replaced itself. Stand-up Centurion, obviously very powerful, but not getting a lot done there because there are no synchro monsters or synchro materials on the field. All right, let's see what we get. There's SP Little Knight in its city, wondering if the security force are going to run it down at a moment's notice. New Man considering their options very carefully here, but looks like we're going to start off with Divine Temple of the Snake Eye. Divine Temple of the Snake Eye, usually a strong sign that maybe Poplar is not the plan here, just going to put something in the spell and trap zone. So could be one of those matches where maybe both players had kind of a slow start. They've gotten half the combo and we're just able to resolve as much as they can. The New Man 93 here thinking, okay, so I've activated Divine Temple of the Snake Eye, I need to play something in the spell and trap zone. Looks like it's going to be Snake Eye Ash. So Snake Eye Ash, typically your starter here, so perhaps we're going to see a normal summon to Poplar, but it just depends. Now we'll probably have, I guess it will feel like 5 rounds worth of Yu-Gi-Oh! Today, so top 32, 16, 8, 4, and 2, so plenty of Yu-Gi-Oh! To be had, but normal summoning the Fire King Coultier or Volcanix. Volcanix, threatening to use its effects. Certainly, SP Little Knight could be activated in response here. We're pulling both monsters off the field, but that's really going to be a choice up to our Shadow Duelist here. Wrong move at the wrong time could really make or break those. So it looks like we are going to be destroying the Garunix there and using that to add the legendary Fire King Ponix to the deck of hand. The Ponix effect activates, right? A monster that was originally fire was destroyed by battle or card effects. Ah, but here's a Max C! Okay, so maybe it's not necessarily as doom and gloom as we might have thought if you're a fan of Sveti, until the Call by the Grave slapped down onto the field, ready to point that sinister hand and say, you are not using Max C right now. So, unless there's something else that can be used, seems to be waiting on the effect here. Trying to figure out, we only got 45 minutes on the clock. Those will be gone before you know it. So both duelists are going to have to mine that and the Master Duel internal timer of the game. But SP Little Knight is going to go ahead and use its effect, targeting itself and the Fire King Cortail Volcanix, definitely getting rid of a monster there on the field. So at least there's a little less fire cards to destroy there. Call by the Grave will go ahead and banish the Max C, so unfortunately Max C is not going to be drawing any cards for Sveti. New Man is able to bring in the legendary Fire King Ponix with 1600 attack. It's not that bad considering the little boost it gets 1100 since it is a level 1 fire monster, and there really is a level, or it's going to be a monster with the spell and trap zone placed there by the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye. Did add the Fire King Sanctuary, so easy access to the field spell Fire King Island. They want to replace that. May decide that they're going to keep that and not switch over to Fire King Island. But just being really methodical with the plays here. Noob Man 93 up 1 game. Doesn't want to necessarily give Sveti an additional chance here, but going to slap down the Fire King Sanctuary, replacing the field spell immediately. No points of interaction. Did not pass down. You can always see those blue lines, so you know that it's Sveti's turn. But didn't even flash that down, so it doesn't seem like there's anything that can be done. We're going to see a card jump out of the spell and trap zone. So possibly Dia Bellstar, the Black Witch. Yep. So food for the whole family, since it was placed in the spell and trap zone. And that does mean it's in the graveyard later, just in case something helpful shows up. So we do have the original Simple Spoils Snake Eye set down to the field. And play just sort of slows down from there. New Man being very methodical here, doesn't want to waste an inch. Going to go ahead and use the effect of Fire King Island, destroying the Fire King Ponix, to grab another Fire King monster from the deck to the hand. A lot of great choices. We saw things like Arvada yesterday, but of course Fire King High Avatar Kiran definitely a staple standard. And since Sacred Fire King Grooming saw somebody get destroyed, it'll special summon itself out to the field here. Now that it's here, it's time to destroy a Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and destroy the Fire King Avatar Arvata. Arvata's effect is going to activate, bringing somebody out, and it's going to be the legendary Fire King Ponix. Alright, so Ponix becoming a Link 1, Link Kruba. We miss you so much in the TCG, Link Kruba, we really do. Certainly a fan favorite, not only from the anime, but just because of how good of a card it is, and it does look like it's going to be used as a Link material as well here. So via Bellstar the Black Witch and Link Karibo, we are going to make Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy, and we can go ahead and grab that Trudea. So it seems like Trudea didn't stay in the graveyard too long here, you know, eaten up by Bestials in game 1, and sort of reunited to a different side of the field here with Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. So being used as a set of Link materials, this time it's going to be Link 3, Promethean Princess Bestower Flames. So locked into fires for the moment, certainly a powerful finisher there. And Promethean Princess going to go ahead and bring out that Fire King Avatar Arvata. Very important, just in case that last card happens to be Nibiru the Primal Being. It looks like we're going to see original Sinful Spoils, and that is going to go ahead and get rid of the Fire King Sanctuary. Not worried about Fire King Island being destroyed or any negative effects there. So that'll allow Snake Eye Oak to make its appearance on the field. New man using that effect, so activating it to target the Snake Eye Ash in the graveyard and special summon Snake Eye Ash. So Snake Eye Ash finally hitting the field, so maybe now it's time for Poplar, getting a really full fire field, not leaving anything to chance. You know, it's one of those things where you could say, no, you know, I think I've had enough, let me just go ahead and attack, attack, attack. But New Man 93 being just extremely, extremely thorough here. As Snake Eye Poplar added to the hand means he can special summon himself to the field. Oh, okay, I guess that is going to be time on the round, because 1,800, 2,700, and then 7, 8, 900 apiece from those. But 3,600 direct is going to be all she wrote. So New Man 93 does eliminate Sveti from the tournament there. So fortunately, our runner-up, it is kind of a curse. Yesterday we had Victinium as the first game on stream, and he did not conquer his opponent, and neither did our runner-up. So Nocturne's Shadow Duelist opponents are not necessarily making their names as well known here, but definitely great performance, and so round of applause for sure. Let's go ahead and get some in-room replay updates real fast, since we just saw that again. Arai beating Dead to Bread, Dr. Stone beating Vagabond, Solid Texture beating Mithril here, Yugo beating Anestus, Rafa beating RGU, New Man conquering Sveti, and Ray beating Nyson. We're going to go ahead and pull up the next duel here, and I'll catch up, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the bracket. We're also going to take a look at Luigi here in the chat. So, taking a look at the actual bracket, our first advancement, of course, was I Wish I Was Dead Today, beating Shadow Gale, who wasn't able to appear at the tournament. And Shankers, actually, went ahead and beat Yu-Gi-Oh! 2-0 to move on into round 2, as well as Hig Ming beating user 011221110 _ 25892. So those are our first 3 people to advance in the tournament here. And now we're just going back to Blue Eyes Town, as Luigi is activating the Psyframe here. Maxi would have been negated there, but Ash Blossom tried to stop it. Interestingly enough, not going to be a whole lot going on, as draw 2, set 1, and that's all she wrote for that turn. So activating that Maxi and see what the opponent has. Looks like they're going to bring out Tempai Dragon Pydra. Now we're going to use that Psyframe Gear Gamma again. Remember that the negation of its effect doesn't mean it goes anywhere, right? It just kind of, oh, I guess I'll pop back into the hand here, my bad. And that'll mean the Tempai Dragon Hydra's effect is negated. We are in the battle phase, and Sangan Kaiman is being activated, but Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring from Luigi is able to slow that down again here. So, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, you get to hear that little laugh, and Sangan Kaiman, well, not so funny if you're a Tenpai player. Non-stop DC, not getting what they want to get. So, no dragon cards here. I wonder if that's what the DC stands for. Luigi Light going to draw again here. Wow, banishing 10 cards off the top of the deck to draw 2 more. And then using Small World, so some big brain combos, revealing and getting rid of the Gamma, and also revealing the Max C to grab Fossil Dynapachycephalo. No special summons, but before that even comes up, we'll use the Kashtira monster to go ahead and special summon Tearlament's Kashtira as well. Don't use the effect, it turns out, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the deck here. Maybe getting rid of the Psyframe Driver or the Tenpai Dragon Pydra, but it looks like the target need to go and verify what it was with the selection here. Oh, it was the Pot of Prosperity to prevent any of the additional options. So feeling really confident there because of his special summons with the Fossil Dynapachylocephalus and putting just some real big pressure there. Forbidden Droplet will go ahead and get rid of the Max C to pour a little Droplet there, down negating the Fossil Dynapachylocephalus. And thank you, Leps TCG. We love that you love us. But now it's full on Tenpai time as Fadra brings out Pydra. Pydra sets Sangen summoning to the field, and Fossil Dynapachylocephalus is dusted. Now we will see an attack just to make sure that number of attacks comes out for the Sangen Pai. Biden Dragion Synchro Summon, so later he summons himself in the graveyard. It's the number 2 finisher in the game. If it shows up, usually that closes things out. But maybe not. We shall see. We are live now, so the pace of play is slowed down to a more reasonable route. I don't have to sit there and talk like an auctioneer, waka waka. Take a look at the bracket. They have updated it, so Noobman 93 is up there, and I'm going to put the bracket in the chat again, and also put it in the YouTube description if you guys are watching the archived version, just so you can see that for later. You can even see it on the chat if you want to manually type in all that. Okay, so we are seeing the Kashtira Ogre use its effect there just to rifle through the deck. This is an opportunity to be able to rob a few Tenpai cards off of the top here. There's that Cypher and Driver again. If it permanents the Sunken Kaiman. Probably the Sunken Kaiman if you live that long. But yeah, okay, Sunken Kaiman it is. Thinking for the future, if they're able to continue this turn. We are seeing Tenpai Dragon Pydra back on the field there. Still haven't seen the biggest of the Sangen Pai monsters, right? The Transcended Dragion. But 300 damage about to be dealt here. And remember the field spell, you know, it is face down, but it still could be destroyed by a card effect. Okay. So the drama as a Kashtira monster faces one of its own, right? The field is literally staring it down, but Tenpai Dragon Fadra attacking there, obviously not going to get destroyed. Just part of the game plan here to get another attack in. Immediately using that quick Synchro effect, so 3+7 class is what? It's level 10. You got a level 10 Synchro Trident Dragion. Trident Dragion, the #1 finisher in Master Duel. If it's here, that's it. Able to destroy its own cards, get multiple attacks. So that means Sangen Summoning was face down the field, is destroyed, doubles the attack there, 6,000 double attacker here. That will be enough on its own if both of these attacks go through. So 3,200. It's all up to here. Is there anything that Kashtira Preparations can do? It can't, and that is going to be game. So Luigi does not make it through that duel as Tenpai closes it out against our opponent here. And taking a look at the in-room replays, was that the last game against Luigi? So there's Luigi versus Nonstop ZC, the first one. And, okay, so that is going to be, unfortunately, the end of Luigi's run in the tournament. Well, still really good stuff here. That does mean we can go ahead and switch over to another participant here. So we're going to go into Solid Texture. Take a look at the bracket again. I think that'll be our newest advancement as we start to figure out who our top 16 is. Still waiting to find out. We don't actually have a next match figured out. We just have individual people advanced, but no opponent for them yet. Speaking of advancement, though, looks like we see Fire King Courtier Volcanics summoned to the field, but Infinite Permanence is going to be slapped down from Mithril, stopping that effect. Solid Texture is not going to be, well, downloading that full texture file, are they? Original Simple Spoils, Snake Eye, going to get rid of the Courtier Volcanics, replacing it with Snake Eye Ash. Snake Eye Ash, of course, grabbing this time Legendary Fire King Ponix, possibly telegraphing that there is a single copy of Poplar in the hand. 2 cards are set face down, and that's all she wrote for that turn for Solid Texture. As Mithril gets to go, and they're going to use Sangen Summoning. But before Sangen Summoning even gets resolved, paying 1,000 life points to just banish that right off the field. It's a Cosmic Cyclone. Time and space collide to get rid of that powerful field spell. But then Genraku is going to be used, tributed for the Tenpai Dragon Fadra. Before anything happens, it's Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. So no more Tenpai techniques there as those monsters go face down. And then play passes back over to Solid Texture as they drop return. Normal summoning the legendary Fire King Ponix, grabbing that Fire King Sanctuary. slapping that down so I can activate its effect to get the Fire King Island placed onto the field. Placement is such a really cool effect that's been sort of underused throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history, but seeing more popularity. Of course, destroying one, he gets another. Sacred Fire King Runic brings out itself and destroys Kieran, but before Kieran can even use its effect, there's a set called by the grave which will banish that Kieran and prevent it from being able to be used at least until the end of next turn. No more of those effects, please. So that effect's negated. We're going to go ahead and flip summon the Snake Eye Ash. It's going to use its effect to get rid of the Fire King Sanctuary. Special summon the Snake Eye Oak from the deck, which will allow that Snake Eye Ash to come from the graveyard back to the field. Snake Eye Poplar. Going to go on the field there, and then obviously the other effect here of the Snake Eye family to bring out another Snake Eye. So we got Snake Eye Slambird Dragon. Going to see, looks like a Link 2 here. That's going to be for Heat of the Fire Charmer Ablaze. So, saw a fire monster in the graveyard, would love to take one off your hands. And placing the Snake Eye Oak in the spell and trap zone. So, grabbing the Tenpai Dragon Genraku. And then that'll be used as food material for the Medium Princess Bestower of Flames. So, Bestower of Flames going to go ahead and special summon out to the field here. The Fire King High Avatar Runics, destroying the Trigger by battle, the old-fashioned way. Then 3,000, 3,900. And 2,700 for Fire King Avatar Garunix just to close the duel out. Fire monsters in the battle phase did settle this duel. Maybe not the way you think, because Tenpai Dragons did not pop off. So taking a look there on Mithril versus Solid Texture to see if that was the closeout on there. And it looks like Solid Texture 1 and Solid Texture 1, so that is. Yeah, that's going to be 2 out of 3 there. Taking a look here then at Dr. Stone versus Vagabond. So good stuff. But again, like we advertised at the beginning of this, much more serious, concerted dueling. We're not seeing these Galaxy Brain combos. It's very much just methodical gameplay based on some of the best decks that we have seen in Master Duel in terms of results. You can see the win rate right there, right? Activate that Pot of Prosperity. A little more than halfway chance you're going to win the duel. We're seeing Melodious now. So going to go ahead and add that beautiful Royal Refrain, the Melodious Songstress. Summoning it immediately and adding couplets. So couplets and refrains. It's choir time. So couplets can activate its effect, but before it does, Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. I feel like Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion criminally underplayed, but starting to see a definite resurgence there. That great animation, just a little bit of a spooky hex there to say, hey, 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 no graveyard, no accessing. Melodious Concerto being added from the couplet, going to activate that Concerto and Fusion Summon, including a Pendulum. It's always fun. So here comes Baka the Melodious Maestro. And definitely some great Royal Collection. Remember in Master Duel they did add it. If you have the resources, you could just set craft until I get the Royal. It'll be like, okay, I'm just going to gobble up all your oh, there's the Royal. We're good. And not sure how they got it, but we know how they got this. Soprano, the Melodious Diva, going to go ahead and fuse there into Flattering Etoile, the Melodious Magnificat. And then Baka using its effect in the graveyard to target the Chopina. And then, of course, because there was a fusion summon, Refrain is going to go to the Pendulum Zone. So still complete. Chopina's summoned, but now it's time. The moment you've all been waiting for, it's a Pendulum summon. So Soprano hitting the field again there. So more fusion summons likely to come out. Chopina going to use its effect to grab another Soprano from the graveyard as well. And then, yep, it's time for a fusion summon. So we'll go ahead and combine the Soprano and Chopina to make Schubert to the Melodious Maestro. Very powerful. It's great to have basically a walking DD Crow here. And we also have, of course, on the field the Elegy. All right, so Pot of Prosperity. Going to go ahead and banish the full 6 here. Although it's 5, 6. We've got Tenpai, so Tenpai versus Melodia, Shades of Legacy of Destruction. We'll see what Dr. Stone 8's legacy is as they add Tenpai Dragon Genraku from their hand. They're locked into half damage, but that is not a problem for Tenpai. So Genraku showing up on the field as a 4-star synchro. Tenpai Dragon Hydra going to go ahead and grab that Songen summoning, but before anything happens here, let's go ahead and tribute the Tenpai Dragon Genraku in response to the Melodious Magnificat. So Chudra hits the field, but now it's time to banish and then bounce. Going to activate the Songen summoning, enter the battle phase, use the effect of Songen Kaiman, adding another Tenpai Dragon Genraku, and then special something that Chundra. Chundra is going to get into battle here. Chundra gets Fadra, Fadra gets Genraku. We are on our way to the perfect hand. No Pydra, so damage is going to apply here, but it's time for our first quick synchro after that first attack. Bringing out Songen Pai Biden Dragion. showing up to the field here, going to go ahead and use its effect to target the Tenpai Dragon Shundra. But Schubert to the Melodious Diva, or excuse me, Maestra. She's a Maestra, and she will magnificently conduct her Orchestra to get those cards out of the graveyard, so you don't have to worry about any of those special summons there. Now, of course, a little bit of damage, but it's time for another quick synchro. There's in the requisite number of attacks, so Sangenpai Binding Dragion can special summon himself out of the graveyard. Now it's time for Sangenpai Transcendent Dragion, showing up to the field here. And destroying at least the couplet. Those two will collide, but Melodious Concerto will shuffle itself back in the deck to draw a new card. There have been 3 more attacks here, so we've got the Transcendent Dragion back on the field again. 2,600 attack, and of course destroying the refrain there, and then another 1,500. So, excuse me, with a 1,300 attack. Oh, but Nibiru, the Primal Being in main phase 2, since there were enough summons there, and a relatively smaller one, clearing those Tenpai cards off the field, no longer having to worry about those effects, and then replacing the Melodious monsters. Just really inspiring stuff, man. If you're a Melodious fan, take notes. So we are going to go ahead and banish that token. It's permanently gone. Sungen Kaimen is being used during the battle phase here, so we're going to grab that Tenpai Dragon. Shundra, special summon into the field. Does cause a replay there. And we are live, so maybe not choosing to attack. Taking a look over here at the Discord, make sure I didn't miss any announcements. Nope, looks like we are still live and good to go. Again, just some really cool stuff in the top 32, but it shows you everybody is locked in. They are playing just really strong, consistent, well-built decks, being really careful on every single move they make. It's not necessarily the wild and wacky gameplay we saw yesterday, which was great, really cool, inspiring stuff. But it shows you that if you want to win, if you want to be the one who reveals the celeb, wins the mask, well, you still have to win the mask, and so that's exactly what these two duelists are trying to do. Dr. Stone and Megabond not giving each other an inch as Couplet, Refrain, and the Melodious monsters combine again. So, we'll see our Pendulums slapped out of the field, and Baka the Melodious Maestro is going to use its effect. I love that it is Acquire and a Refrain, right? I fuse, my Pendulums come back. I use my Pendulums effect. I fuse, my Pendulums come back. Rinse and repeat. But a gripping main phase 2 is coupled with the Melodious Diva, or excuse me, Songstress is added from the deck to the hand. Songstresses, Divas, Maestras, a lot of fun musical puns to wrap your tongue around effectively. You got to be able to say all those things. It was a bit of a tongue twister. All right, so Soprano, the Melodious Songstress, going to go ahead and use its effect here. Is it fusion summon time? We're going to pick out what we're going to fuse and what the materials are. So first recycling one of those fusions to be able to bring it back. Ah, here comes the fusion summon. So we're going to bring out a Melodious Fusion. And 3 monsters combining this time, so possibly another Etoile, the Melodious Magnificat. And there she is. So splashing down to the field, where Spaka able to target the Schuberta. And Schuberta back on the field, its effect reset, so it can banish even more Tenpai monsters. And that's really what Melodious has going for it in this particular circumstance. There's a lot of great things about the deck, but it also does help. They can be like, no, please, just get rid of all this stuff. Especially considering the graveyard contains some Sangenpai monsters. So goodbye Bident Dragion, Fadra, and Transcendent Dragion. That's going to be a little bit harder. It's not the end for Dr. Stone, right? They could still bring out Trident Dragion. But it's not exactly like they showed up to the duel without those cards in their deck. They've been banished, they've been released, so those 3 attacks no longer mean that much, and it's going to be difficult to play through. So now it's yeah, Tenpai Dragon in the mud. You're absolutely right, Almighty Box 2. So just waiting to find out how they're going to scorch Earth and get out of here. Couple of updates. We do have Solid Texture versus Shankers. That'll be our first top 16 bracket match that's been finalized. We also have Rav4 King advancing over Uriel FV, and he'll be playing Nice Zin. Arai 5647 is also advanced in the tournament, so we're starting to figure out the top 16, but we still have about half of it unfinished, including this one. This is to figure out who is going to play Noobman 93, who beat Red Techno 10 earlier. So cards have been banished. Sent in the banishment. Ooh, now we're gonna see. This has got to be a Typhon, right? Is it time for a Sky Crisis? It is. Superstar Slayer, Typhon, Sky Crisis. Slapped down in the field. The opponent did bring out 2 cards from the extra deck last turn, so that'll even banish the Chundra back to the hound. Back to the hound. Back to the hand. All right, don't worry. We've got a few more rounds to go. We'll untie this tongue as best we can. It draws for turn. Still has the Tenpai Dragon Chundra, but just doesn't have necessarily nearly as many cards available to them in the extra deck. Obviously, it's difficult. And it is difficult. Anytime a card gets banished, that's going to be an issue. But, you know, Tenpai known for being able to play through Dimension Shifters, so maybe this is its opportunity to do so. Dr. Stone, normal summoning the Tenpai Dragon Hydra here. Adding something. Probably going to be another copy of Song and Summoning. Okay. Going to go ahead and use the effect of Tenpai Dragon Chundra. I'm going to go and special summon it. So at least we have synchro materials here. Obviously, cannot activate the effects of monsters that are too big for Sky Crisis. But Typhon be darned, we're going to go ahead and synchro summon again. And Black Rose Dragon hitting the field. Going to use its effect to just try to clear the board. What will be done in response? Well, not too much, but remember, a little bit of a protection effect there, so not losing all the monsters there, and unfortunately realizing that that is going to be the end. So if you were curious, like, wait a sec, what just happened? Well, remember, take a look here. I want to say it's the Melodious Magnificat that says, hey, we're safe. Yeah, only use that effect if it leaves. No, actually, I'm not sure what protected that. We'll have to get a little bit of an analysis on that later. But let's go ahead and continue the dueling action here for our top 32 because there are still matches going on. Let's go ahead and get Urtasam versus Pearl the Dog. So I want to say that was the end of that one, Vagabond versus Dr. Stone. Yeah, so okay, so we are having some more. Yugo is going to be playing Nonstop DC. And we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 undecided duel sets here from our top 32. And is that Fighting Flame Swordsman? That is Fighting Flame Swordsman. I'm so glad that I got to see this duel. Definitely a big Joey Wheeler fan. The non-fusion. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so looks like we are going to go ahead and slap Durendal there on the Fighting Flame Swordsman. It's going to go and destroy it. And now we got Fire Flint Lady, special summoning itself. And our first Link monster here is going to be Solde. Yep, 2 Tails of the Noble Knights. I'm getting to the point where I can just guess the stuff, which is kind of weird to have a Millennium Eye, but it just means we've been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and use our Noble Knights to grab another copy of the Fighting Flame Swordsman. And then Fighting Flame Swordsman effect, gonna go ahead and send, wow, Salamandra the Flying Dragon. Okay, we're doing this. Getting that Salamandra with Chain. This is really like, this is it. And it's Tenpai. This is a deck that I've wanted to build, so it's so cool to see this. Infernal Knight Ogier, using its effect, of course, the Phoenix Spearblade also sent to the graveyard, so it's gonna go ahead and do what it does. You say that. I love how you say Tenpai's not the way, and there are Tenpai Dragons. But we are going to go ahead and have that as an equip card there, and the purple to be Infernal Knight Turpin using its effect as well. And so building the overlay network. And here comes Battling Boxer Dempsey. It's a little Dempsey roll. Nice. Using that, of course, to grab another Fire Warrior monster, this time Infernal Knight with non-special movement itself in the field. And then grabbing, wow, the Salamandra Fusion Equip spell card. And then Link summon here for Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames. So let's see a fire monster, special summon from the grave here. And then it's going to be Turpin equipped at Noble Arms Museum for special summoning the Infernal Knight Ogier, who was turned into an equipped card. Now it's time for a synchro summon here. It's going to be Angelica, Princess of the Noble Arms. And she'll use her effect to go ahead and grab out another copy of the Noble Arms Museum. Going to go ahead and replace the Noble Arms Museum. You know, we'll just do a little museum crawl. It's Museum Mile after all. And using that card to grab the Infernal Arms Almace, and then using the effects of both Turpin and Angelica here. So let's go and resolve these in backwards order. Angelica setting it. Was that gear free? This is a real Joey deck for sure. Infernal Knight. Captain Roland. Going to go ahead and synchro summon here. I think it is time for Charles. Infernal Emperor. Infernal Knight Emperor Charles. And then since he's equipping a destroy a card, that will destroy the Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames. And now you've got the one card touch here for Emperor Charles the Great. You might think to yourself, is it weird to destroy the Promethean Princess? No, now it's in the graveyard, so its effect can't be used to special summon itself back to the field and then destroy 2 monsters. That'll be fun for later. But Almace is going to go ahead and pop out that Immortal Phoenix gear free. Charles will equip with Charles, right? Charles is in charge of our duels. So, again, special summon down to the field there, and then getting that equipped. And then, are we really doing this? We're really doing this. Charles the Great. You need Charles the Great. And then Charles, go ahead and become Charles. And then being able to special summon the Immortal Phoenix Gearfriend, and then using Flame Sword's Realm. Oh my goodness, this is inspiring. All right, so Flame Sword's Realm. Gonna go infuse here to make Flame Swordsman and equip Flame Swords with Salamandra Fusion to use its effect to bring out the ultimate Flame Swordsman. Yes! Joey Wheeler fans are eating well today. 2 more set cards. Special summoning Angelica back to the field and equipping Angelica's Angelic Ring to Charles. That's incredible. All right, Pot of Desire is going to go ahead and banish just 10 off the top, waves of 5. Charles, not impressed by that. Going to get rid of his equip card there to say, negate. So back to the battle phase here, using evenly matched, but Charles again saying, hey, I've got equip spells for days. We are not going to be giving you what you need. So no evenly matched. We are not evenly. I am Charles, right? So Carl the dog here going to go ahead and bring out another copy of Phoenix Gearfriend, but another evenly matched. And that's it. They're all gone except for Phoenix Gearfriend. So a masterclass in how to play that deck. And get that, it's playing against Sky Striker as we see the Sky Striker maneuver modules multi-rolls. The Mecha module here being activated, getting rid of the face-down copy, and then no reactions here, so it's time for using just the beautiful, beautiful effect there of Sky Striker mobilizing Gauge. We know it's grabbed the Widow Anchor, we know the Widow Anchor is set, but we've got a little bit of a simplified game state here. All right, Durandal being equipped there. Also grabbing out an Infernoble Knight, Oliver. And then Turpin going to use its effect again here, special summoning itself out to the field, and then Oliver going to go ahead and pitch that Phoenix Gearblade to special summon itself, which means Phoenix Gearblade goes right back to the hand. And now we're going to go ahead and see the Sky Striker Mecha take over the Phoenix Gearfriend, not equipped with anything, so it's not necessarily as big a threat to Carl the Dog as it would be to Urtisum with an equipped spell, but we see another copy of the Isolde 2 Tails of the Noble Knights bring out Fighting Flame Swordsman again. All right, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, normal summons here. We're going to climb up to a link 2. It's going to be SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight deciding to banish something here, and it's just getting rid of the Mecha module. So bringing out Ogier, and of course equipping again. So many equip spells. We're live playing here. I think the play just may be to end turn, and so that means the Phoenix Gearfriend is going to pass back across the table here. Carl the Dog taking commanding lead again, not necessarily doing a lot of damage, but just hanging in the duel. And card advantage is supreme here, right? You're looking at 6 cards on the field, 2 cards in the hand to Urtisum's 1, so they've just got 1 card to make it all happen. But in Sky Striker, 1 card goes a long way, especially if its name is Ray. We're dropping bars, my bad. Dropping bars, obviously the colloquial term for rapping just a little bit on accident. Setting a monster, just a single monster face down. Could be anything. Could be anything. Uh-oh. Well, let's see what happens to our hero Ray. Activating reinforcements of the army. And adding from the deck to the hand the Infernoble Knights. Ricard. Alright, Ricard. Excuse me, Ricardetto. Ricardetto is going to grab another Infernoble Knight out of the graveyard. This one's going to be Renaud. So Renaud jumping to the field here. And then going to go ahead and target another warrior monster equip spell. Grab something out of the graveyard. Just some incredible, incredible Fire Warrior play. Like, this is my new pet project. I'm definitely building this. And it's good, too. Obviously, it got him this far, and he's been using it really just commandingly, showcasing how good this deck can be. We didn't see the Sunken Kaimen, so I imagine there's like a small, like if I take a look at the graveyard, probably a small 10-5 package here. I thought I saw a Sunken Kaimen, but it might have just been the Salamandra Fusion, actually. So maybe this is just pure Salamandras. And maybe this is the way. You might be right, Vox. Maybe this is the way. All right, so Max C there. Wow, Max C. Maybe just use the Max C pass. Who knows? But we'll never know. 3,500. 16. Another 16. Remember, there's multiple attacks here. And 500. Once more 500. Not going to close things out, but another double attack here. And finally, Renaud attack directly and end this duel. Carl the dog just doing great numbers there. Looks like we're just a couple of minutes away from time on the round, so we'll be advancing into our top 16 pretty fast here. Let's get a little bit of an update. So from our bracket, we've got Shankers versus Solid Texture. And you know, some people are be a little bit more visual, so I'm actually just going to pop this on the screen for everybody so they can see what I see. So I'll zoom out a little so we can get the whole bracket there. Yeah, this is the way. And brackets. So now you got your bracket too. You can see what I see. And I'm just gonna move this a little bit to the side towards the background. There we go. So as you can see, Shankers versus Solid Texture. New ban is gonna be playing somebody soon, but we haven't figured out who. We also have I Wish I Was Dead versus Kaito. Yugo versus Nonstop DC. Irai still deciding. I Love Synchro versus Hipster. Raf King versus Nyson, and our VV Prince versus Hit Games. So let's take a look at one of our last duels here because it's still going on. They're gonna have to play this one fast as we figure out who will be playing. Only one way to find out. So again, about 2 minutes left on time, and it is going to be, I believe, just highest life points. Let's find out what we get here. Dimension Shifter to start things off. And activating Nightmare Throne. So going in for Yubel, thinking I need to do damage and I don't want to take damage. Very heads up from Urtasam as we go down to the wire here. Alright, so we're live. We're just looking at Samsara D Lotus. And it's just thinking Samsara D Lotus thoughts with that beautiful Yubel hand of its. Gonna go ahead and return Yubel and the Samsara D Lotus, obviously, since nothing happened with the effect there of the Samsara D Lotus negated by infinite permanence. So Phantom Yubel, and it's set 2 cards, and that's all she wrote for this one. Will there be any spell and trap removal? This would be a great time to be Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, but looks like we're doing Sangen Summoning. Both players, one saying, I don't want to take any damage, the other, I want to do all the damage. The Sangen Summoning backed up by Tenpai Dragon Hydra, unaffected by card effects, since the Sangen Summoning is on the field, but maybe not so much if the effect is changed. It's a slight nuance difference there. So, Phantom Yubel changing the effect. And there goes Yubel. So Spirit of Yubel's effect is going to activate here. Slap Yubel down onto the field. And that possibly means more. But Sangen Summoning is going to use its effect. Time in the round has been called. Both players are at even life points. So I'm going to make sure that I have our additional chat channel up here so we know what's going on. So, if you got 2 games in time, you're a winner. If you win 1 game and the second game's not finished, whatever the life point is in game 2. If you're 1-1 and you're playing game 3 during time, the time is finished. The player with more life points wins. Both players have the same life points on game 3. The first player with more life after the first change in life wins. So it's sudden death. We're not doing this like the end of the turn or the end of the phase. This is the first love tap. So if these duelists are 1-1, then like this is like anything. Any single point of damage will hurt. So, uh-oh, for both duelists. This is going to be a weird one. And, yeah, I think they might be just absorbing the rules. But Sudden Death, Tenpai does like the suns. But so does Yubel. The second a Nightmare Pain's on the field, this get really weird depending on if Hydra's on the field or not. So, also could do Gaga Cowboy. Right, if you're able to get out a Tenpai Dragon Genroku and you modulate its level to 4. 4 and 4. Overlay that, build the overlay network, and you don't got yourself number 8, you got yourself number Gaga Cowboy. Okay. Well, then we're all on pins and needles. It's like, what do you do? Like, if you move wrong, it's it. It didn't look like there's anything going on in the chat channels. Take a look at the rest of the tournament here. It seems like there may be some winners and losers, but we are still waiting to find out who is the winner of this duel and who is the winner of the duel between... Oh, we are still going Dr. Stone and Vagabond, so my apologies for skipping out in the last part of that. But a lot of coverage of this tournament, which is cool. So might be able to catch that on the flip side there. All right, looking for chat here. Yeah. All right. I think they may be talking with the tournament organizer just to make sure they understand what to do. Because this duel did not stop just because time was called. So we do results. Okay, so there's the result thing. There's the chat. Bot's still waiting. Well, I know this is going to be game determining either way because we are in the top 32 and it's single elimination, so there can't be a draw here just because they have the same number of life points. But we just got to find out who makes it. Just waiting for an update or something? Alright, well, as we're waiting for... Oh, okay, we are in battle phase, so yeah, they do get to continue. My bad, my bad. It's like right when I hit the button, I'm like, oh, let's vamp for a bit. No, there's no hanging out here. It's super polymerization. So, it really is just... It's going to be first tap. First tap, and that's it. Alright, this is insane. What? Yubel, the loving defender forever for doing 500 damage. And that's all she wrote. Okay. That'll do it. That'll definitely do it. Yubel plus everything on the field. And a reminder that that card is an exceptionally good card. Okay. And that would have done it even on the previous time rules here. So let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket because I think that's going to decide everything. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's a way to close the game out. That's a way to close the game out. Okay. So top 32. It's going to be Shankers versus Solid Texture. Dr. Stone versus Noob Man. I wish I was dead today. No, you don't. You're doing fine, fam. Versus Kaito. Hugo versus Nonstop DC. Arai, we know, is going to be playing against Urtasom there. I Love Synchro versus Hipster Wham. Wrath for King versus Nice Zen. Maybe we'll have a King versus the Prince, as our Prince here is going to be challenging out High Gaming. So really, really exciting here to go into the top 16 again. Basically, Gaga Cowboy for game, for real. But yeah, we ain't done yet. The fun is just beginning as our duelists get ready to sit down and have all the results and everything verified. So just good stuff. Really, really cool stuff. We got to see a little bit of everybody here, and we'll get to see even more. You can go ahead and make predictions in the chat who you think is going to make it. Obviously, the bracket is available. I'm going to go ahead and copy that in. And let me know who you're cheering for, right? Could be, you know, your buddy. Could be a duelist that you're just, like, super inspired by. Where you're like, was that fighting Flame Swordsman? And if you don't know why I'm just, like, fighting, it's a Joey Wheeler card. I'm an anime fan. And it's a good Joey Wheeler card. I mean, you really can play in a high-level tournament just such as this your favorite cards. And turns out they're good because a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards are good. Just got to put the homework in, right? Little research and development in the Kaiba Corporation lab here. But just good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Solid Texture getting a little bit of fan cheers here. We'll go ahead and feature him as our first one. Is the top table seed there. Taking out Mithril, no easy feat there. Now, I think they're supposed to have people like exit the table. So the tables might get a little like weird if somebody doesn't leave there. But that's something, you know, as a longtime Yu-Gi-Oh judge and tournament organizer myself, you know, you put the tournament together, you're like, okay, it's a digital duelist tournament. Hey, I need you to step off the table because there's no kick function. Even if you're like the person who runs the room, because duels get a little heated, you don't want to give somebody the power to be like, no, you can't duel in my room, because duels are solved with duels. But they're just sitting there, they're just like, can you get out of the chair? And I'm like, Because you can't reach them out in a message, so they don't hear you, they don't see you, etc. But I'm sure the tournament organizers will be able to figure this out. There's a lot of staff behind the scenes on this one, by the way. It's not just me doing the clicks on Discord. All right, okay, cool. I'm glad we all got favorites. Hopefully we get to see somebody is going to get to be the Shadow Duelist opponent. Remember, they're not just playing to be the #1 duelist in this tournament. They're playing to figure out who the Shadow Duelist is and play against them. So if they want to shred with Axel, they got to find out. So they're not going to start just yet. We're just waiting on everybody to sit down. They've been asked not to start, so we shouldn't see anybody starting just yet. So watch for that. If you see anybody, be like, pheromone. I'll be like, okay. Nope, don't think we got anybody going just yet. Good, they're all following the rules as they are supposed to. Well, this is really neat. Again, this is the same style we have of the Challenger Cup, so if you're watching, you're like, I want to enter a tournament like this. Well, the Shadow Duelist Tournament already is underway, but definitely take a look at the Challenger Cup series that's being run in Europe right now if you're watching from there, and hopefully in the future they bring it back to North America and other regions. I think Latin America is running a Challenger Cup right now too, and you're like, but Pharaoh, what is a Challenger Cup? It's just like this, free to play, enter one click on Discord, play on Master Duel, have fun. And those have been, I've run one of those myself, and they're really cool. And hopefully we get to do more of those in the future, because I just love this vibe. I love just like chilling with you guys, and it's a little bit more loose, you know, but it's still good Yu-Gi-Oh! So we are here for good Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, you're fine, you're fine. Sometimes you gotta craft stuff I eat. You've seen me, I've had to tear cards away and just craft them the old-fashioned way. But I will say, you know, the Evil Twin Live Twin anniversary bundle, very cool. You've got 60 days, though. I think maybe 59 days. I'm not saying that to stress you out. You still got time, though. You still got time. But if you're watching this approximately 2 months from November 10th, then maybe not. Maybe not. All right, looks like they are typing in possibly official start times. All right, so they're going to play, and the official start time is going to be in 6 minutes. So we're just chilling for 6 minutes here as we get ready to go. We're going to start with Solid Texture and just see what we got, because I don't think we got to see any of Shanker's. Really cool icons, too. They've got the World Championship Qualifier icon here. This one's got the Power Pros. I love the brain control frames. I just love that, like, in Yu-Gi-Oh! You really can express your creativity here, but even more so in Master Duel, where you've got, like, additional accessories beyond, like, sleeves and a playmat and stuff. All right, let me let the tournament organizer... I'm always just doing my part, letting them know that I think Mithril was eliminated from the tournament, so they're just kind of, they're on there, that's cool. We did enjoy their duels, but they did not advance to the top 16, so Dr. Stone may have to move down to another table. True, you can't craft that. But you can craft other things. It's just, it is what it is, Aichi, you know? You gotta save up, and you gotta, you know, spend your gems just like everybody else. But there'll be, you know, more events and rewards and stuff like that too. What you might do is, because it's 60 days, next time there's a big cup or something like that, just make it a goal to collect all the gems from that cup, and then spend only those gems on the anniversary items. So make a goal, and then execute. We got people in the chat from the tournament, actually, saying, wow, that Carl Urtasun game was just insane. Feels razor close. And it was. And it was razor close. All right, we got about 4 minutes until start time soon. Got to see a little bit of everything, you know. Just some really strong decks. Legacy of Destruction era decks, obviously taking the game by storm. All right, they're letting me know some behind the scenes stuff. Right, they're going to go to their tables, but not start just yet. This is always like the hard part. You're just like, but I'm ready to duel, and they're ready to duel, but we gotta wait for that start time. It's like, it's the coolest atmosphere too. If you happen to go to an in-person Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series, and you just like, you walk past all the tables, and you just see all the bodies. Like, everybody like sitting, it's like, it's holy. You know, there's just something very special about 500 plus duelists sitting in a room with their play mats out, you know, game mats, excuse me, and all their stuff. Like, they feel the TCG pulse. Thank you for following, by the way. And it's just cool. It's really, it's just something that's like sacred, and it comes from all these different people who know all this stuff about the rules of the game and know what it is that they're going to do. And they're so ready. And then they're just there. Like at the Olympics before they you know, blam off the starting shot there for everybody to start racing. It's just this electric vibe, and that's what's going on now. You know, all these different duelists from all these different walks of life sitting on maybe a Steam Deck or their PC like I am, or maybe they're just playing off their phone. Maybe our top duelist just kind of sitting here like, oh cool, I won. Well, let's see. But there's no wrong way to duel, so as long as you got 40 to 60 cards, follow the Forbidden Limited list, everything goes. All right, 2 minutes till showtime. I mean, maybe. They could have really good, they could have like better mobile internet. It's not the old days where they had like 2 ping or something. Or wait, excuse me, 2000 ping. All right. Almost time. So yeah, Solid Texture versus Shankers is going to be an interesting match for sure. I think the other duelists that have really made a splash in the tournament, not to say that anybody has made a splash and made it this far, but you know, just really raised a close game between Erdosama and Carl last set. It does look like they're moving Dr. Stone down here to table 9 because we've got a little bit of a blank here, so I think Mithril, do they have, yeah, they're just, yeah, they're off Discord too, so there's no way to message them, just be like, hey, can we just poke you to, just a move, but no. We do have our top 16 though, so at least all the placement may be weird in terms of tables, everybody is accounted for. Alright, so it looks like soon, about 30 odd seconds until showtime, friends. And then we're gonna watch ourselves some good old duels. All right, they may begin. 45 minutes. 16 duelists walk in, 8 duelists walk out. All right, good luck. And bon appetit for fans of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, but man, we are eating well. All right, here we go. All right, find out what we are signing up for. Ooh, nice to see some new duel fields. Oh, we've got the pleasant music again. All right, Fire King Island may not be as pleasant as you imagine. Things are heating up fast. So, gonna go and use the effect, Solid Texture, gonna destroy something. We're live, since we were here for the start of the duel. I would hope we were live. Couldn't be that much action that happened in just a second. So it looks like we are going to let that resolve. So now we're playing to find out who is our top 8 duelists. Alright, Sacred Fire King Garunix being the Searched card. And now it will be the Special Summoned card. Alright, so Heal Dueling Advice beside us. Let's go ahead and use the effect there of the Garunix. And what new Fire King trick will we put on display now? As Solid Texture uses the effect of the Sacred Fire King Garunix to destroy the Fire King Avatar Arvada. She's immediately going to use its effect to go ahead and special summon out the Fire King High Avatar Kirin from the graveyard. It is nice to have 2 level 8 monsters there already. And we are building the overlay network here for the Zombie Vampire, actually. So good to go ahead and detach the Garunix there. And we are going to go ahead and mill some cards. So 4 from each pile. Looks like we saw a Droll Blackbird and a Max C from Shankers here. But on the other side, Snake Eye Ash is a very obvious target, so it's going to be special summon to the field in defense mode and activate its effect, allowing Solid Texture to try to grab something, but in reply, Shankers is going to say no. With Ash Blossom Joy Spring being discarded from the hand to negate that effect because it did one of the sacred Ash Blossomable things. Alright, so some more monsters heading off there for Diabellstar the Black Witch. Really just using the Zombie Vampire just for that effect. So the music picks up. Diabellstar the Black Witch uses this effect to set the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye here. Flipping over the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. And getting rid of Diabellstar the Black Witch now to special summon a level 1 fire monster, and that's going to be the legendary Fire King Ponix. Ponix going to use his effect. Now I think I see where this is going. We're likely to get the Fire King Sanctuary, play Fire King Sanctuary, and get that off the field with the Snake Eye Ash in order to special summon another Snake Eye monster from the deck. So there's the Fire King Sanctuary, activated, continuous spell. It's good eats for Snake Eye Ash, so Ash will gobble up that Fire King Sanctuary and do a little remodeling, filed for its permit, and building away Snake Eye Oak. Snake Eye Oak using its effect now to grab that Snake Eye Ash out of the graveyard. Special summon. It could add it back to the hand, but it doesn't seem like what's in the cards. Oh, give me just a moment, fam. We will when it's time. Alright, but Snake Eye's Flamberge Dragon being special summoned to the field. Flamberge Dragon likely to use its effect soon, but doesn't necessarily have to. Seems like we are going to go ahead and summon here. Now we've got IP Masquerena. IP Masquerena now going to go ahead and trick the effect of the Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon, since that was one of the link materials there. Bringing back 2 level 1 fire monsters. They're going to be Legendary Fire King Ponix and Snake Eye Oak. So we know what's coming next, right? Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames likely to be summoned out. So let me say, are you ready? So, Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames on the field here, allowing us to bring out. And remember, it can't be destroyed by card effects because of the effect of the IP Masquerena, but that's going to special summon the Flamberge Dragon. Flamberge Dragon now can use its effect to place the IP Masquerena into the spell and trap zone. So, not to be outdone, Wanted Seeker Sinful Spoils going to go ahead and return the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye back to the deck here to draw a new card. It looks like maybe that was the card draw on the Fire King Corsair Volcanics. Going to go ahead and use that to destroy a fire monster. To grab a fire monster here, it's Fire King High Avatar Kieran. And shuffle of the hand. So again, just really methodical play from every duelist here. Nobody risking anything too crazy. Seeing some fun stuff in Challenger Cups. For now, give me Amphibious Swarm Ship Ambler Whale. Very safe choice. Gets that Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames to the graveyard. And gets some follow-up plays with the Swarm Ship. A single set card to supplement, so 2 face downs and a couple of face up cards. Let's see what Shankers has to say as they draw. And oh, it's anti-spell fragrance there. That's going to be a little difficult to deal with, especially if that Crimson Dragon sleeve set was advertising a Bestial Centurion deck. Oh, and that's all she wrote there. Little roar from the Flamberge Dragon up right above my head here. So very, very difficult. There are great Crystal Beast cards. Remember, they hit top 32 at YCS. Niagara Falls just a few weeks ago. So yeah, there's plenty of good stuff here. And we are going to try to follow these 2 out of 3 sets, so we are just waiting for these duelists to come back on in. But taking a quick look at our brackets here to find some recent results. Looks like Noob Man beat out Dr. Stone in the first game there. Hipster beat out Jay Zhang. No Solid Texture beat Shankers. Also, UWS Kaito did beat I Wish I Was Dead. And so these will be, from here on, our top 16 pools. So we'll see shortly if our opponents switch their decks. I mean, it doesn't take much. Think about Primite, great new deck type featuring the best and brightest of normal monsters. You don't need new monsters, you just need a new approach to how you're going to use those fabulous fine cards. Speaking of fine cards, Definitely have some great duelists here. Shankers and Solid Texture already seated. So I think it's time. Ain't nothing to it but to duel it. Really, like, Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon did a lot just so you didn't have to run as many names, right? You got an 8th name. Which that among itself is just a huge boon to the Crystal Beast family because you can customize your deck in any way you choose. But speaking of customization here, gearing yourselves up, seems like we're seeing similar feels, similar sleeves. I think maybe we went the same way. Okay. Starting off with Bonfire, Solid Texture is showcasing pretty much the same deck here as they add Snake Eye Ash from this deck to their hand. Normal summoning the Snake Eye Ash. Now we're live. We're going to go ahead and likely add Poplar. They could do Ponix too, if it is in fact the same. It's going to be Snake Eyes Poplar this time. So roll the dice. Show us 2 1s. Ah, but here comes Max C. All right, well, thanks, Red Blue. We appreciate that as our red player attacks our blue player here. Solid Texture using Called by the Grave to stop that Max C. So, unfortunately, all those cards that Shankers intended on drawing, it is not to be, as Max C is negated for this and next turn. Hey, well, keep that together. Keep it in your duel disc, but I'm excited that you're excited. All right, so Snake Eyes Poplar going to go ahead and grab original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. So really full combo here unless there's a Nibiru the Primal Being showing up. Thank you, Jethro Bodine92 for you showing up to our duel here. All right, Link Karibo being made there off of the Poplar, and Poplar's effect is going to activate, going to replace a resource on the field for hungry Snake Eye monsters like Snake Eye Ash, so that means it's going to be the Spell and Trap Zone. Snake Eye Ash using its effect and going to send the monster this time, interestingly enough. So Snake Eye Ash and Link Karibo combine to make Snake Eye Oak. Snake Eye Oak's effect activates, so Solid Texture now the proud owner of not 1, not 2, but 3 level 1 monster cards on the field. And Ungeld going to go ahead and make their presence known as Solid Texture advances. So, Poplar and Snake Eye Oak, what are you going to bring out? Well, it feels like about time for Snake Eye Flamebird Dragon. Although we did see a lot of Snake Eye Birch plays yesterday. That was really exciting to see. Our favorite 2100 defender from the Snake Eye family. All right, cheers to the crowd for Blake. As Solid Texture used original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye to go ahead and turn one monster to another. This time it's the legendary Fire King Ponix here. Ponix likely to use its effect in just a moment to grab Fire King Sanctuary as Snake Eye's Flamebird Dragon is activated to bring out those 2 juicy level 1 fire monsters from the graveyard. So a whole smorgasbord of good eats when it comes to fire friends. So Flamebird Dragon effect resolving now, and we're going to see Poplar once more, and Snake Eye Oak once more. I mean, if you wanted to make some kind of Flower Cardian level 1 deck, no, I'm teasing. But the materials are definitely there. Speaking of materials, time to build the overlay network. And this time it's, wow, you do not see Kika Nagashi show all the time. But a lot of creativity. We also saw Assembled Nightingale from the Lyraloose family as just a counter to 10-buy monsters. But speaking of counterplay here, we're going to see Fire King Island destroy another monster, just trying to put as many cards on the board as possible before Solid Texture yields this turn. So the legendary Fire King Ponix destroyed for the Sacred Fire King Runix. And so Fire King Runix is like, you know, technically I saw that card get destroyed. So special summoning itself out to the field. And using its effect to destroy one more Fire Beast, Warrior, or Winged Beast from the deck. And so another Garunix is gone. Oh no, it's going to be Fire King Courtier Volcanix. So that will bring another Garunix. There we go. Another Garunix is going, I should have said. And now 2 8s. So building the overlay network again here. And showcasing the Zombie Vampire, so very likely the same deck build that Solid Texture was rocking out in the previous duel that they did use to great effect against Shankers. Got to see a lot of monsters hit the graveyard here, but Solid Texture does have to make a choice of what they're going to special summon here. Certainly a nice complicated effect where you're doing a lot on resolution. Fire King High Avatar Kirin, though, being the choice there, so more 8s there. And now we're going to see a Link summon. And looks like it is going to be IP Masquerena here. So IP Masquerena likely to combine with another monster. We're following Solid Texture's game plan. It should be Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames, and using the Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames effect to special summon again Snake Eyes Flamebird Dragon. And I mean, Flamebird Dragon has never looked that good and never been that accessible. And it sort of roars here. I just love the animations here. There's the Flamebird Dragon. Large and in charge. The Flamebird Dragon using its effect to place the IP Masquerena into the spell and trap zone. And what I love about this deck, because I play Snake Eyes of all sorts, is that, you know, it's not like this overpowering deck that some people are like, oh, there's too many negates on the field, there's too much. No, it's really just a bunch of small combo pieces that are just enough to play your opponent to keep them out of the game here. And so, yeah, that really does sort of cramp out Duelist styles, and Shanker's finally getting a chance to play here, drawing for turn, but immediately we are seeing the effect of the Snake Eyes Flamebird Dragon activate to pull up the motorcycle of IP Masquerena, and then we see the Kikidagashi Fucho use its effect, attaching two materials. See if that's good there. In a minute again, but neither card's going to be destroyed by battle, and note not taking any battle damage from attacks. So an answer there, instead of using the Assemble Nightingale, just another way to keep everybody sort of like, hey, I'm not losing to Tenpai. This is the Shadow Duelist Tournament. This is really serious. I am going to beat and reveal this 11, win that mask. And you do that by protecting yourself with these really cool level 1, which can be rank 1 Xyz monsters, right? So you use your level 1 decks. There's several of them in the format. We've seen Lyralist. We saw like really good Lyralist play yesterday. We also see great Fire Kings. We've also seen great play here from a lot. But wow, we are seeing Raigeki, and maybe they didn't, because that should be, can it be destroyed by battle? Okay, so still destroyed by card effects. Still destroyed by card effects. You don't see Fucho every day, so even I have to be like, what does this do? But we're going to see the IP Masquerena. Remember, whatever is linked summoned by IP Masquerena won't be able to be destroyed by card effects. This is a really heads-up way to do it. Could bring out something huge. Like a 4-material Appaloosa would not feel awful right now, but it looks like the Flamebird Dragon is going to be the only thing that comes out here for just an indestructible there should be SP Little Knight with the IP Masquerena's effect. So glad to hear you're okay, because it looks like Solid Texture is feeling okay too, as multiple level 8 fire monsters stacking here on the chain links, one after another. And SP Little Knight, made out of a decent set of materials there, is going to be able to banish something out of the graveyard if it so chooses. So we're going to say goodbye to Genroku. A lot of fire monsters. This is definitely fire format. Feels like we're in February of this year. But never fear. This is, well figured out format for the most part, but we've got a bunch of different options here in the Forbidden Limited list. So don't feel like this is a repeat of earlier this year. This is very different. And we're really seeing that already, because the Fire King play is a lot more advanced here now that we have Corteo Volcanics in the mixture. It's so many fire monsters showing up. Again, we have Garunix, another Garunix, literally another and different Garunix. We've also got Snake Eye Oak, Snake Eye Ash, and Fucho still holding it down, although it has no materials now, so it's really just fodder, maybe for another special summon of some kind. It's also a defending monster, which is good, and we know that it is being challenged by Tenpai. Shankers is going to be using Tenpai. Once all this resolves, remember, it's technically Shanker's turn, but that Raigeki just did so much. But now we're going to see the Harpy's Feather Duster here, which is actually really clutch, destroying the Fire King Island if it could. Remember, the Sanctuary is there in the field, so it's really just getting rid of the face down and the Sanctuary. And right now, what's going on, if you notice the pause, it's probably asking Solid Texture, what do you want to do? Well, you want to click yes, and you want to lose everything except, of course, the copy there of Fire King Island. So your field is not destroyed unless they're able to get rid of it now. We do have Tenpai Dragon Hydra. I mean, maybe a Black Rose Dragon gets it done. We do have SP Little Knight, though, challenging the activated effect there of the Tenpai Dragon Hydra, saying, okay, you can get what you're going to get, but you are not going to get to keep what you get. So goodbye Tenpai Dragon Hydra, at least until the end of the turn. But Hydra's effect is going to activate here, so we're either going to add or set something. Could be just grabbing out the Sangen Summoning, unless it already has Sangen Summoning in its possession. Shankers, again, just considering those options carefully. That's what I love about today. Today is very careful. Yesterday was high-octane dueling. Today's high-octane, but they're sitting very calmly in their jet fighters as they just sort of pass each other back and forth. Alright, so now quest continues. So we are going to see Sangen Kaiman in the battle phase, but remember there's not going to be any battle damage this turn. So what are you playing for? Well, you're basically just playing for getting rid of monsters. Alright, so far so good. As we do see the Tenpai Dragon Vajra clash onto the field. Alright, so Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames saying, hey, you know, I'm here for a reason. Not just hanging out in the graveyard. I'm alive and well. So we'll also see Tenpai Dragon Genroku chained onto that. So, fire after fire after fire. Let's go ahead and see these waves of flames. First Genroku hits the field, and it is going to become a level 4 tuner. Then Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames, special summon and destroy 2 cards there. So Vajra is gone. And then finally, Vajra's effect is going to resolve. Special summoning, Vajra. So it's here, it's there, it's here, it's there. A little reload to the Kaiba Cup here. Big which the Kaiba Corporation Cup is going on here in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, so don't forget, just because you're playing Master Duel doesn't mean you can't be the king of games elsewhere, too. Now we're seeing Tenpai Dragon Shundra from elsewhere, speaking of which. Now play's kind of settled down. Shankers has to get something done here. The Tenpai Dragon Shundra is going to try to attack the Fucho. Remember, it can't be destroyed by battle, but at least it's something. It's kind of difficult, though. We're mostly just playing for card effects here. So we did get another attack. No damage here, of course, because the attack never completes. But Tenpai Dragon Shundra going to go ahead and use its quick synchro effect. Bring out Sangenpai Bident Dragion. So it's going to target the Tenpai Dragon Vajra in the graveyard. Just trying to push what you can, shore up your resources, make sure that you're ready to attack. Maybe a following turn if we get to turn 4 of this duel. But here comes the Sangenpai. Just going to go ahead and get rid of it. Still able to destroy that monster at least. Only the Fucho holding it down. But Garunik's effect activating, obviously, since there was a destroyed monster. Fucho, kind of the really coolest thing that we've seen out of this duel so far. Obviously, all these cards are neat, but you see them relatively routinely. This is where, like, different stuff is happening. Vajra able to get rid of the Fire King Avatar Arvada. Definitely needed to do that because you don't want to have any kind of negation on your opponent's side of the board where you're still making effects happen during the battle phase and you don't have really any protection right now. It's not the main phase with the Sangen summoning. This is just a sort of raw Tenpai turn, if that makes sense. Arvada activating its effect, but now we just got to choose what we're going to do with it. So Garunik seems to be the target there. And I think we are going to resolve that. So special summon in defense mode. New monster hitting the board. So Vajra going to use effect for a quick synchro summon again here. I think this is where it's probably time to see the Sangenpai Transcendent Dragion. There it is. Man, just like the blast, blast, blast looks so cool. All the animations in Master Duel are great, but some of them stand out. And that's a royal Transcendent Dragion, by the way, pulling all these monsters into attack mode except the Fucho. Fucho just like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm not. That's for you. That's just go over there. And speaking of going over there, 2200 damage off the top, finally reducing Solid Texture's life points as the Transcendent Dragion is able to get an attack off. Bident Dragion special summoning itself, and now we get another bite. Another bite at the Fire King Island. It feels like it, right? Like the Royal does do more damage. You know, definitely shades of Chronicle cards here, but the story hasn't been told yet. Thinking about whether or not to destroy that. Do you really want to put all those cards in the graveyard? Do you really want to destroy the Garuniks again? Well, looks like we're actually going to do another quick synchro here. Not going to mess with the Fire King Island at all. So this quick synchro is Trident Dragion. The Trident Dragion is going to destroy for just the second attack here. Then, using the special summon effect here of the Sangenpai Transcendent Dragion. And that makes sense because destroying the Fire King Island, your opponent can't activate the effect while you have the Transcendent Dragion, so you're not really clearing the board the way you would hope to. But 300 damage from the Trident Dragion, and another 300 damage there, and then not a whole lot you can do. You can just crash into the Foot Show, and the Foot Show's like, I, again, don't know what I'm doing here, but no. No, do not come near me. 2 Giant Dragons. Turn into a Link monster here. I don't think I've ever seen Trident Dragion and Sangenpai Transcendent Dragion become Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Sphere Pass. So finally, Tenpai Dragon Pydra appearing back on the field from the SP Little Knight effect, and Solid Texture did a really great job defending there, and unfortunately, just because the combination of the cards where everything kind of hit the table in the order that it did, Fire King Island's still there, and still a lot of resources available to Solid Texture, starting off with that Fire King Island now. Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair if you take a look at the chat. What a great endorsement there for the seal. So Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring attempting to stop the effect there of the Fire King Island, but that's triggering off SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight deciding now is the time. I'm going to banish myself and the Sphere. So that'll make that effect get activated. Response, Scorch Tributing, and non-targeting Bounce. Learning yesterday that it is non-targeting, something to remember, of course, because it's just incredibly good there. A lot of different cards you could bounce. Could even bounce the Fire King Islands, right? But we'll see. Heavenly Spheres, able to target just any face-up card on the field. And looks like it's actually going to bounce the SP Little Knight. So really heads up way to do that because those targets, so Tenpai Dragon Pydra staying on the field. And then Tenpai Dragon Chundra makes its presence known. Definitely some dragon spheres. Gotta collect all the dragon spheres so you can make a wish to duel monsters. Alright, but we are one piece away from victory as always with Tenpai, but it looks like now we're going to see the Legendary Fire King Onyx combine with Fucho to make an SP Little Knight. Really cool too that Fucho guarantees you're always going to have an extra deck monster on the field to be used as a material for SP Little Knight. And since it was banished, it does let you get rid of Sangenpai Transcendent Dragion from the graveyard there. So definitely heads up way to be like, well, I lost my SP Little Knight. But it doesn't mean that it's, you know, not available to me again. So bringing it out. Maybe it's a different copy. Maybe they're one of those duels running 2. It was very popular in the OCG to run like 2+ SP Little Knights because it's just that incredible. You just always need it. I've tried 2 before, but usually I end up just on 1. So if you run a 1, don't feel bad. Don't feel anything, just duel, right? 1 card drawn off the top for Schenker is going to go ahead and immediately Synchro Summon at the beginning of the main phase here. And it looks like we have 20 insults on the clock for this round, so still plenty of stuff going on. Another copy of the Sangenpai Bident Dragion. Going to go ahead and special summon that Tenpai Dragon Fadra as long as there's nothing to be said from Solid Texture. It doesn't look like they have a response. So Tenpai Dragon Fadra using its effect. Going to be very careful to try to avoid the quick synchro. You kind of have to like hold off the gas as long as you can and then shift into turbo immediately when it's time. And I guess Solid Texture's decided it's time now. So attempting to banish the Sangenpai Bident Dragion. And yeah, it'll be gone for now. Unable to do anything further, including special summon itself or be used as multi-materials. So there's nothing on the field now, so we'll go 1500 from the Tenpai Dragon Chundra here. And immediate quick synchro, or actually it's going to be quick special summon. So that'll bring out the Pydra. Pydra's going to go ahead and set something. I imagine we Sangen summoning the field spell card, but it looks like it's actually going to be adding Sangen Kaimen, so there was no Kaimen in the hand. So that gives you a little bit of information about whatever that last card is. It's probably not Sangen summoning because it would already be there. It's not Sangen Kaimen because there'd be no way to search it. So possibly a point of interaction from the hand, maybe into a dead card. But nothing to worry about for now. Solid Texture down to 400 life points as Schenker completes an additional 6-row summon here using the Tenpai Dragon Chundra's effect. Here comes Odd-Eye's Meteor Burst Dragon, locking out any monster effects. Finisher rank 11. Yeah, if you manage to bring them out in the battle phase and they can't do anything, that is game. So Solid Texture not able to repeat that game, and Shankers reduces the life points to 0. Let's get a quick update from our bracket here, just so everybody is in the know. Where did we put? There we go. So, we do have a few advancements here. Noob Man does clinch it against Dr. Stone 2-0, but other than that, everything in the top 8 is unknown. So, taking a look at individual duels here. Let me go ahead and clear the screen here so you can see the beautiful Master Duel. Going into our in-room replay against Solid Texture, making sure this Shanker is the Solid Texture game 2, and there's Shanker in Solid Texture game 1. So yeah, this is going to be the climactic finale. Solid Texture just waits patiently. So yeah, that was a very, very tight match. The Fucho obviously did a lot of work there, but it wasn't enough to completely lock Shankers out of the game, and Shankers made the full comeback, so that's what Tenpai does. So, fire versus fire, right? Who's going to burn Raider? We're going to find out soon. And then we'll try to peek in on the other matches we can. I'm trying again to make a concerted effort to watch single 2 out of 3 sets, because this is the top 32 here, so we want to make sure that we really get to see how these duelists got here, and we'll try to feature as many different opponents as we can. So, a little bit more like the YCS style, right? Just bouncing back and forth between the different duelists, but ideally, we'll get to see plenty of this. And now, speaking of plenty of duels, it's going to be the climactic finale of our top 16 match. Winner moves on. Whoever doesn't win, well, you get to join us in the chat, right? Hang out with us as we figure out who it is that's going to reveal the celeb here. Solid Texture going first again this time. All right. So, Solid Texture, we do get the little bit of a flip script here. We're playing from Solid Texture's perspective. So, a little bit, Shanker's now on top in the red seat, and Solid Texture's down on top of the blue seat. Now, there's anything wrong with the red seat, right? Alright, so, Snake Eyes plays Ash to Poplar, Poplar to original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, and I think it's time for a Link 1 as we bring out Link Karibo and then use that for fodder and Poplar's effect activate. So always good. I mean, even Relinquished Anima in the TCG is worth doing this, just so you have the extra card there, and you have the SP Little Knight materials. You know, having an extra deck monster does give SP Little Knight that extra effect, and you never know when you are going to need access to that. But Link Karibo, obviously very powerful, able to tribute at a moment's notice a level 1 monster to special summon itself, which protects your level 1 monsters from things like Infinite Permanence, Effect Veiler, and more. Of course, if we ever get like Dominus Purge, Dominus Impulse, it's going to be a little different. Those are Ash Blossom-like effects. So interesting to see what the future Master Duel holds. But that's then. This is now. We've got Snake Eye Oak bringing out Snake Eye Ash. Snake Eye Oak will activate its effect. It's going to eat up the Snake Eye Ash. I think it should be Flamberge Dragon time. Yep, Snake Eye's Flamberge Dragon. So Flamberge Dragon is now available. Now we'll use the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. I feel like this is probably Legendary Fire King Ponix. So Solid Texture just really saying, like, I am here to play Fire Kings. This is what we're doing today. No changes, no, you know, spin to win, no figuring out anything other than this deck. And it's fun to, like, rotate into different decks and play, like, different stuff, but sometimes it's cool just to play what you're going to play. And we know this game plan very well now, as Fire King Sanctuary is used to bring out Fire King Islands. Music kind of heating up here. And it's cool to like have like the Dia Bellstars theme playing like while you're playing Snake Eye there, as Snake Eye's Dia Bellstar just sort of roaring. Just ready to pretend it's a goblin biker monster. But gonna go ahead and use the effect here of the Volcanics and also use the effect of Garunix there as well, since it saw the monster. It's a really interesting mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game for we have a private knowledge monster and it's added to the hand, and the last thing that happened was the thing that meets its summoning condition or a trigger effect like that. It is able to bring itself out. There's a lot of examples like Amazement, Administrator, or Kino, or Evolution Magician, but right now the Garunix demonstrating just some masterful plays here with Solid Texture as the pilot of this deck, and seeing the Courtier Volcanics show back up on the field. So 5 monsters. I don't think it's Nibiru time. And even if it was, I mean, you still have a lot of things you're going to be able to do off of the Flamberge Dragon going to the graveyard. Now this is probably Zombie Vampire. Zombie Vampire it is, with our 2 level 8s here. See what we detach here. A lot of things went to the graveyard again there. Seeing Ash Blossom and Joy Spring and other very important useful cards there. If you take a look at the clipboard here on the side, you'll see that beating out the Anti-Spell Fragrance and the Wanted. Well, the Wanted could be fun later from the graveyard. Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, and also a Cosmic Cyclone. That's not too bad, but from the opponent, losing the Chundra, an Ash Blossom, a Sangen summoning, that hurts, and the Droll and Lockbird. So we see that Droll and Lockbird has not gotten to do much, but IP Masquerena is here to probably get a lot done. So I think at this point, probably Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames is next, combining, yep, those exact two monsters. So Flambird Dragon and IP Masquerena give way to the latest monster technology for Fire decks. Strong monster only had 53% chance of when it shows up in the duel you'll win, but that's still better than nothing, right? So Snake Eye Oak and Snake Eye Ash, monsters being special summoned by the Flambird Dragon. Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames likely to bring out Flambird Dragon as well, so it can put IP Masquerade in the Spell Trap Zone. Yep. So we are going exactly the game plan here. Lots of defense mode monsters, by the way. Really, it's just like I cannot be 10-pot, especially since I saw the Chundra. Alright, so IP Masquerade in the Spell and Trap Zone, able to be brought out to the field by the Snake Eyes Flambird Dragon as soon as the draw phase. I think now, if we know Solid Texture's game plan right, we usually see the Amphibious, Swarm Ship, Ambler Whale. So Ambler Whale likely to come out next here, and then using the effect there of Flambird Dragon, just advance that IP Masquerena when it's time, and just sit on various Link monsters and try to get things done from there. So Tonics, yep, and there's those down and down right arrows. Almost looks like a fighting game move where it's like down, down right, right over. But well, fighting game jokes, we're king of duels here, king of games at least. And there's the Fucho again. Fucho just really, really strong here, just preventing that battle damage, not being destroyed. We saw how powerful it was. It wasn't enough to keep Solid Texture in the game last duel, but committing to the same game plan again, saying this is it. This time I can get it done. We have two face-down cards in the field, supported by a great lineup of monsters. Solid Texture passes over to Shankers, and now let's see Shankers play the 10-pie turn of his career. Because as this is the last game, final round, only one thing to do. Only one thing to do. And Forbidden Droplet coming down to just say no to the Fucho. I cannot afford it. I'm going to get rid of my Droll and Lockbird. I'm not worried about you adding any cards from your deck to your hand right now. No, what I need is to stop you, but Dimensional Barrier being flipped up as well. No discarded trap, so of course it can be responded to with. And this Dimensional Barrier is really going to shake things up, because if you're saying no synchro monsters, what are you getting done? And by advancing in the IP Masquerena, you still have one option if they try to pivot into a different direction. Maybe they do have an Xyz engine. Maybe they've got some weirdness going on, but not this time. Excuse me. Alright, so pour one out for Fucho. It is not going to be able to use its effects, but it may not matter here as Synchros are locked out of this turn, and Shankers is playing on the back foot. Main phase 1, we're seeing Pot of Prosperity. Banishing 6. Do you banish additional Synchros, though, knowing that you can't use them, or do you get rid of your usual suspects? This will be a more difficult decision than most. Sorry about that. Got a little too excited. Alright, but we're seeing Forbidden Droplet, Infinite Permanent, Senpai Dragon Hydra, another Imperm, Called by the Grave, and Cosmic Cyclone. Cosmic Cyclone could be used to get rid of the Fire King Island and clear the board. But there is an IP Masquerena on the field who would be able to trade things out, so it may not be as strong, but it's tempting. This is tempting. Snatch this card and then use it over here. I love that I could even like just grab it and go there, but is that going to be the choice that Shankers makes, because there's so many other great options and only they know their 3-card hand right now. What shall that 4th card be to supplement their strategy to climb out of the pit that Solid Texture has effectively placed them in? I mean, the drama of the music is really carrying this for me. Oh goodness. This is it. This is the pinnacle of dueling. Darned if you duel, darned if you don't. So up next, whatever card they choose is really going to determine where this duel goes. Again, 2 copies of Infinite Permanence, very tempting as well, since they have no cards on the field. They could use that to maybe suss out something. Force the IP Masquerena before anything major happens, but then you wouldn't have access to the Cosmic Cyclone. And what are you doing with those last 3 cards without a Synchro strategy? And use your Synchro Monsters instead by not only to launch a devastating series of attacks, but you also use it to manage your resources, right? Even Sangenpai Biden Dragion is able to do that, but we did grab the Cosmic Cyclone. So we're going for it. Do we do it first? Would be the worst. But Shankers really considers their options here. It's up to them. I'm excited. Like, I really want to know, like, what they do next. Because, like, it's very tempting to get rid of the Fire King Island and just blow out that flame there. And you will lose some cards, of course, you know, because you can't destroy them by card effects. But it doesn't do as much as maybe you hope. Because, of course, there is still the effect there of the IP Masquerena able to quick effect create a Link monster that can be destroyed by card effects, including by Fire King Island. Right? Because that's going to be card effects and not just opponent's card effects, right? No, it's opponent's card effects, actually, so it would do that. Wow, but speaking of Cosmic Cyclone, the IP Masquerena may not be the bop here. But maybe it is. Because Cosmic Cyclone is going to get rid of the Sangen Summoning, locking Shankers out there. Now the face down is gone, so that makes it a little bit easier to figure out what you're going to do. And it is true, of course, that the IP Masquerena would not be able to protect against your own card effects. But you need more than just clearing your opponent's board, especially as a 10-5 player locked out of synchros. You've got to be able to put up some kind of either defensive strategy, or it's time to attack. And maybe there's not a whole lot of attacks you can do, but you can start to size things up if you could clear out their field. So Solid Texture declaring final turn here. Normal summoning the Tenpai Dragon Shundra. Fire Dragons approach the field. Oh, but Fire King High Avatar Kieran in the hand. Kieran has a lot of great options he can use to destroy stuff. Gotta get rid of something. So Kieran's effect resolving here. No response from Shanker, saying goodbye to the Tenpai Dragon Shundra. Borrowed from the opponent there. Placing that into defense mode as well. 400 attack IP Masquerena, certainly small, but not likely to stay for long. So not necessarily the threat you might perceive it to be. Also could be used for an SP Little Knight. So Solid Texture now staring down the battle phase of a Tenpai deck, but no synchros to worry about. Shanker's gonna go ahead and at the start of the damage step, time to battle here. But battling amongst friends always feels better. So Trickster calls upon Tenpai Dragon Pydra to assist it. Finisher rank 6, but those duels may not have been staring down. No synchro monsters from the Dimensional Barrier. Sangen Kaiming added to the deck of the hand, remember half damage here, of course, because of the Pot of Prosperity activated. Grab that Cosmic Cyclone. It hasn't been used yet. Still just there. Could get rid of the Kieran. It's really the only thing that Pydra could successfully destroy as result of battle right now, since Fucho, the Xyz monster, of course, being indestructible and not necessarily anything to worry about. Just kind of staring it down. Again, we've seen a heck of a turn here, but it looks like we're going into main phase 2. So starting off with so many different cards here, but Sangen Kaiming, by the way, not in the battle phase. So adding a level 4 dragon monster to the hands here, it's going to be Tenpai Dragon Genroku, which is fine, of course, because you didn't need to use the secondary effect of the Sangen Kaiming when Tenpai Dragon Genroku comes with it pre-installed. It's going to go and special summon itself and make itself a level 4 tuner monster, but now it's been summoned. So a little scary here as we see the Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames back in action again, and the Amphibious Swarm Ship Ambler Whale in the graveyard. Promethean Princess saying, hello, did you miss me? Well, maybe Garunix felt missed too, because a fire monster was destroyed. And it's ever watchful eyes from the graveyard, special summon it back to the field. It too will destroy another fire monster, whether it's a Beast Beast or a Wing Beast. Solid Texture just playing their hardest. Destroying that Kieran, and now Kieran gets to go ahead and special summon another Fire King monster. Hand, graveyard, graveyard, hand. Could be Culture Volcanics. We haven't seen that, but we also haven't seen Garunix in a while. No response there from Shankers. So it's the Arvada this time. Now the Arvada able to destroy a fire monster and, of course, stop things and saying goodbye there. But banishing the Fire King Island, speaking of saying goodbye, that's going to clear everything out except the Fucho, but we do have the effects of plenty of monsters here, including Fire King Avatar Arvada. And the Snake Eyes Flamebird Dragon. And the Amphibious Swarm Ship Ambler Whale. So everybody's coming back. And we've seen this before throughout the year where Fire King Island, very tempting target to get rid of. But maybe not for long, because once you clear out those monsters want to be destroyed. It's a party for them. It's the end of the world as they know it, and they feel fine. So Snake Eye Oak coming back here, and then Snake Eye Poplar as well as legendary Fire King Ponix. A procession of puny fire monsters, but they've got some great effects. So Snake Eye Oak also going to get out Snake Eye Ash. And Ponix going to be able to search possibly a Fire King Skyburn, which play spell card, usually a nice target this late in the duel. And Snake Eye Poplar also going to grab either the Divine Temple to Snake Eye, or maybe the original Sinful Spoils. Looks like it's going to be original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. Now it's Ponix's turn, but it is still negated. And the Snake Eye Oak is going to go ahead and grab the Snake Eye Ash. So now it's the end phase there. Are going to have that Ponix get destroyed there by the Arvada, but it does mean that it's going to go back to the hand soon. So just a really gripping duel. Remember we said we had 20 minutes. Well, this 20 minutes have pretty much gone by. We only have 2 minutes left on the clock for this duel, and things not looking great for Solid Texture in terms of life points, but they have all the power they need to change that life point differential pretty fast here. So, Fucho and Snake Eye Oak giving way to Heat of the Fire Charmer Ablaze, and let's light it up! This Tenpai Dragon Pydra is still a fire monster, so it's going to go to the arrow that Heat points to. Link climbing has begun. And that's already quite a bit there. Still have to maintain a reasonable pace of play. No slow play in here. But things are looking pretty good for Solid Texture. Great amount of monsters. Decent access to the extra deck. And still quite a few cards left in the extra deck too. By the way, 8. So certainly some options I can think of that they might run. And looks like we're going to be linking here. Could be an access code talker. Looks like it's actually going to be a Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, so we're trying to clinch this out. So 2,800, 1,700. And then Raging Phoenix, not going to do too much from there. Going to go ahead and set one additional card. And summon out the legendary Fire King Ponix. And that is all she wrote. Going to go ahead and Shankers surrendering there. Solid Texture taking it. And that is time on the round just now. Yeah, so that is why. So let's go ahead and get the bracket out, see if there's any duels that may be still in progress that we can watch from now. Nope. So we are likely having everybody report in. So we'll take a look at our bracket for some live updates as it's filled in by our wonderful tournament staff. And if they can hear me, thank you, tournament staff. You're doing great. Okay, so Noob Man versus, we know Solid Texture, because Solid Texture was the winner of that duel. Shanker's going ahead and surrendering there. Kaido's going to be playing Non-Stop DC. Hopefully they do not DC. What a fun duel to watch there. Irai versus I Love Synchro 24-230. And then finally Raptor King versus High Gaming. We're probably near the bottom of the bracket. We haven't seen too much of that. We've seen a lot of the top. So for our next duel here, I think we're going to see Raptor King there as our featured match du jour. But we're getting down to the wire here. Oops. That is not the button. There we go. So soon we're going to go ahead and have our results posted and go into the next one. But just good stuff. Again, if you're just joining us and you're like, okay, well, the duels are cool, but what's going on? Well, I got news for you. This is a Shadow Duelist Tournament where someone will face a celebrity duelist, the winner of this tournament, and be able to claim their mask for themselves. You might have seen all the materials about Axel, whoever that duelist happens to be. Last time, Nocturne was our Shadow Duelist, and Nocturne, I kid you not, with Zayn Malik from One Direction, which is like, what? A lot of people love the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. A lot of people love the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. We've had like great guesses throughout the thing, so I'm curious to find out who happened to guess correctly there. Don't ask me, I don't know. But there's going to be some fun times ahead. We're still in the top 8 though, so we got top 8 to top 4, and then we'll do our finals today, right? We're going to play that top 2 because only the #1 duelist will challenge our Shadow Duelist. So let's go back to Duel here and find out what's next. All right, waiting to see how we're doing on the chat here. Oh, they did clear out the duel rooms, and that's nice. So that means we won't have some weird seating here. But pretty much all these tables, right? It's top 8. We have exactly enough tables for 8 duelists. So everything's on screen. Yeah, 2016. Been doing this for a while. I actually started streaming, I think, in like 2011. And YouTube I started on 2010. But my Yu-Gi-Oh! Journey and my cosplay journey and all my content creation stuff started in like 2003. Yeah, 2002 I was enjoying it. 2003 I'm like, I'm gonna do this. Showing up to anime conventions with that Millennium Puzzle around my neck, and well, the rest of that is just history. But history is being made today as we find out who is going to go against our Shadow Duelist. I'm excited. This whole tournament has just been insane. You say that. It was definitely like, it was on justin.tv/pheromone. So it was before Twitch even became Twitch. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, a lot of other games too, you know. But good stuff across the board. If you want to remember all the memories, including this tournament, we are going to go ahead and put this on the YouTube channel. And there we go. Doing some behind the scenes here. All right, looks like they're sitting down. So a lot of fun times, I just, anything that is a way to make this game that we all love so much enthusiastic and entertaining, I'm here for it. And there's a lot of shapes that takes, right? It could be like the very serious, just, Yu-Gi-Oh! And the way I try to translate, especially when I do commentating work, is, I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you've been to like locals or a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, and I'm just gonna demonstrate some funny behavior here as we wait for our top 8 to start. You see all the duelists and they're like staring down at the table, and nobody says anything. And somebody plays a card, and they walk off like that. If you speak the great language that we all do, the pictographic language, where you can see like the little cards here, and whatever language you speak, you know exactly what they do just from the image. You know what's going on, but not everybody speaks that language as fluently as we do, and so I try to translate it to make it exciting, accessible, so that you don't have to pay attention to every move, and you know exactly what the cards are doing, because the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game is a lot of information to absorb, but once you get it, man, is it just like a vibe? And that's what we're here for. We're here to vibe together, friends. So, good times, good times. Oh, those were the days, fam. I still play all that. I still do all that. It's just, for the most part, we're just here to duel right now. But I'm here for it. Behind the scenes, I'm definitely just like good times. Speaking behind the scenes, making sure there's nothing in the dueling atmosphere that we're missing. Ooh, new archetype I'd like to see support for. Well, the funny thing is they keep picking archetypes that I'd love to see support for. So, like, Supreme Darkness is coming out in late January, and early, I guess, February we'll have our first YCS where that gets featured. And there's Evil Heroes, and Gladiator Beasts, and Arcana Force. Like, there's everything. So, like, how do I even answer that question after that? Friend of the stream was saying they'd love to build an appliancer deck, maybe some new appliancer stuff. That'd be cool, just to kind of further flesh that out. I mean, I feel like I've got everything I need for Amazement. Maybe like one more Amazement card would be cool. Ojamas would be neat to see. Like, maybe like 5 Ojama cards to make it just like a routine thing, because we did have Kashira Shangra Ira, so I feel like you could do like Ojama like Emperor and it locks up everything, or maybe some Ojamas that lock up the spell and trap zone or something like that, because, you know, that was a vibe. We survived Kashira Shangra Ira. We can survive like Ojama Ojama Lord or whatever, because we have an Emperor already, so it has to be like Ojama even bigger than that. Like Ojama, Ojama Emperor, Ojama Lord. Either or, but yeah, there's a lot of, like, we also could, I think, use the 5Ds era. So you notice how, like, we're, like, in, like, the GX, like, Utopia, Ubel, World Champion winning deck. Wow. Elemental Heroes, feeling good. Crystal Beasts, making top 32 at YCSs. Like, GX feels good. But I would love to see that for 5Ds. I'd love, like, you know, more like an Ancient Fairy Dragon deck that like unifies all that stuff, almost like Shining Sarcophagus did. Maybe a lot of different ways to play that out. But I'd like to see just cool anime support. Speaking of cool duels, we got about 2 minutes before our top 8 starts. So give it time. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. And I think, like, Morphtronics are good. They've got, like, a lot of cool loops. So maybe that's fine. I think Jack Atlas is doing really good, but, like, here and there, they could kind of, like, shore up. Maybe, like, a new... We had, like, really good Black Rose Dragon support before, but it just hasn't been played as strongly in a while. It was amazing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. But, yeah, 5Ds, and then maybe... We still are doing really good on Zexal. You know, we just had Rage of the Abyss with all the Shark support. You know, before we had Photon Hypernova, and we got a bunch of really cool Galaxy Eyes stuff. We have Maze and the Master coming out, which is where I think the Light Duelist pack cards appear to be going based on some of the promotional materials that have already been released. Don't quote me on that. I'm just looking at the booster packs just like you are, just the art that we saw at New York Comic Con. And it would be cool to have like Schwarzschild Infinity Dragon, some of the Mizar cards, so just good stuff. Looks like the duels are sitting down though. We do have this going. Yeah, the Shark stuff's really, I mean, it's been tearing, like, so, it's just a storm in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Like, Shark never went anywhere. Reginald Castle is a force to be reckoned with for sure. And it is just, like, cool to be able to see, because these characters are someone's favorite. You know, you may be like, I don't care about Weevil Underwood. And somebody's like, I love Weevil Underwood. And... yeah, so more insect support, which we got a whole bunch of new insect cards in the last set. We got Ragnarika stuff. So what do I want to see? To answer the question, what do I want to see? What doesn't exist in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game that maybe we could use? Tell you what, I'll think about it this whole round, and we'll talk about it right after this before we go to top 4, because it's time to duel. It's top 8 time. All right, so let's go ahead and get spectating here. And away we go. So we are going to start with the bottom of the bracket here because we haven't been able to see Rafa or KOH War Crimes here. See what kind of dueling action they've got for us. Yeah, but that's somebody's favorite tune. And that's really, and we get excited about that. And it does have to be updated, right? So, just like in other games where they have like their staple 2 characters that appear in every game, ours are Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon. But no such thing here as we see Rafa set a single card, sporting those runic sleeves, but not sure what they're playing just yet. We haven't been able to monitor them this tournament. KOH War Crimes get to their standby phase, and now in the main phase. So it looks like some Fire King action here. This Fire King High Avatar Kirin activating its effect. And looks like we should special summon here. Oh, but before we do, it's Max C. Oh, but no Max C. It's Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So one great hand-activated card deserves another great hand-activated card. But before the Call by the Grave Beam, the single set, just to make sure the Max C absolutely went through. Sometimes one card is all it takes. So Called by the Grave will banish the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. And Max C gonna go ahead and resolve here. So I wonder if that's gonna change Warcrime's game plan here. So we do have Fire King. Yeah, maybe it does. Just attack. I'm not giving you a million cards. I can tell things are kind of looking a little slower for you. So setting a card as well. Warcrime really just pumps the brakes here, pulls over, and says, nah, it's your turn. I ain't doing any of that. So play pass it back over to Rafa. And Rafa now up to the 5th card here. Of course, cycled 1 card with the Max C, just replacing itself. And Rescue Ace Airlifter, so dropping on in the fire department here to stop the flames. But before anything happens with Airlifter, Infinite Permanence will be kicking in and negating its effect and locking down that column there. So unfortunately, Airlifter's not going to get to do anything, so we're not going to Rescue Ace HQ just yet, unless there's another summon. So if you're just joining us, or maybe you just woke up, don't worry, we're in our top 8 as Warcrimes pumps the brakes against NDA Rafa. Now Rafa's got to figure out what to do as we're live here, so play is, well, you actually get to see the Duelist thinking in real time here. Again, just amazing, you know, the years that have gone by. We were talking about, you know, the Wayback Machine, and having Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, being able to have like a live Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. I'm at my house. This is home. You're at your house. Maybe you're at work. Maybe you're on a drive. Maybe you've got like the phone just like in the car. Please pay attention to your road. But you know, maybe you got it there and you're like, oh cool. I can hear all the dueling action here from the Shadow Duelist Tournament. That's cool. That's something that we like didn't have before. So may seem like that's reality now. Yes, it's reality now, but it wasn't always. Speaking of always though, feels like we are still here. Still waiting to see what it is that Rafa wants to do. Looks like priority is getting passed there. And Faye's going to hold on to those cards. Now you can use the Airlifter to get a tribute in order to airlift in something to drop a monster. So maybe that's the vibe here that Rafa wants to go for. But Warcrimes draws for turn. Doesn't have a lot of cards. But depending on whether there's some gas in the tank, we may see a powerful turn here because we know how good Fire Kings can be. Warcrime's just sitting there and gonna go ahead and discard Max C. Wow. Probably for a Dia Bellstar? Yep, so Dia Bellstar the Black Witch. You usually see Max C go from the hand to the graveyard, but this was in a slightly different order there. Dia Bellstar the Black Witch gonna attempt to use its effect, but here comes Rescue Ace Impulse, able to tribute itself and special summon a Machine Rescue Ace from the deck to the field. I guess wherever else you can special summon monsters too, right? You can special summon from anywhere, but most of the time the monsters are going to the field. Alright, so it's like we're just waiting to see what we special summon here. A lot of choices. Could be Fire Engine to get out another Rescue Ace monster from the deck in response to a summon. Could be Turbulence just to get that over with. Could even be Preventer to prevent any shenanigans here. Maybe you want to flip a monster face down before a powerful link summon or other extra deck mechanic occurs. So Rafa really thinking about this. And I don't know if the music is helping anybody's stress level here, but I mean, man, it's intense. But it does look like we're getting Preventer to be able to flip something down, taking the safe route here, and being able to special summon as well in the future. Just setting the original Simple Spoil Snake Eyes, so possible that we're going to lose a card here. So sending another face-up card to the graveyard. You could technically use the Preventer there to kind of like force your opponent to like send one of the cards, but I don't know if that's hugely impactful here. We will instead see Preventer actually get responded to here. And it's going to be Max C get responded here from the Fire King Skyburn. And maybe this is cause to prevent? We are going to see Preventer. All right, so time to change something down to face-down defense position. Well, now let's wind all that back. Preventer flipping that down. The Skyburn still destroying stuff, at least it was face-down, so maybe that'll make a difference. Then, seeing the Max C resolve here, So it is time to put some cards out on the field. So the original Simple Spoil Snake Eye. Gonna go in Special Summon Snake Eye Ash. And Max C gonna add another card to the hand here. It's just gonna be a very expensive turn for War Crimes if they decide to play into the Max C. Before they did not. They may feel like there's blood in the water. Maybe it's time to go ahead and special summon to go ahead and attack with all of your Fire King and Snake Eye monsters. But here comes the Sacred Fire King Garunix. And we're not done yet. We're gonna go and destroy that Airlifter, but that does cause another draw here. Now it's time for Snake Eye Ash. It grabs that Poplar, and it does. That could be another special summon. So again, just really giving your opponent a lot of cards here. Trying to checkmate him. There is 3,500 points on the board, so it would take another 1,900 in order to close things out. It might just be that Fire King Avatar Arvada is enough. By using its effect to bring out that Kirin. Now there's enough to just go ahead and attack. So we have entered the battle phase here. So, 2,400, and then 36, and that's all she wrote before Nibiru even gets drawn. So Rafa losing that game, unfortunately. And we got ourselves quite the showcase there of what it is that War Crimes is packing. So for some other updates here, it looks like Irai lost to Jizang, and actually 2-0 here, and then War Crimes being the first one. So we should have a bracket update there. I'm just going to pull the bracket up real fast. And hasn't been updated yet, but based on that 2-0, we should see Irai actually advancing to our top 4. Right? Yep. Oh, no, excuse me, Jizang advancing to our top 4. So that would be I Love Synchro 24-30 on the bracket. Okay, so we're just waiting for War Crimes and Rafa to figure out what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to change things up. Maybe not. We've seen some people just like, no, I'm locked in. This is what I'm doing. Well, we have to find out. And lucky for us, there's still going to be a top 4. It's still going to be a top 2 after this, so plenty of duels left. Take a look at the chat, see if there's any more guesses here. Certainly the Discord's a little bit quieter there. But looks like nothing too major. No new guesses. People just like, have they been amassed yet? Like, no, they haven't been amassed yet. Not yet. One day. It's not me, I promise you that. Made that joke yesterday where it's just like there's another hat. Alright, we do have other matches going on, but like I said, we're trying to focus on this. And we'll get to see, you know, Nonstop DC or Kaito, whoever advances. But I'm really trying to showcase these 2 out of 3 sets. Alright, Rafa sitting back down. Remember, it's only 2 minutes for side decking here in Master Duel, so looks like we got ourselves our next game here. Really rocking out the Easter Xyz. Well, happy Xyz stir. Yeah, there's a pun in there somewhere. Alright, we got everything ready to go. And just some star-studded talent throughout this, whether you're just somebody who's like a daily grinder of some sort, you know, just hitting a Master Duel every day, or you're somebody who duels across all the different formats, right? We saw a Teammate PS, Jeff Leonard, etc. But right now, it's time to watch the real stars of the show. It's going to be Rafa versus War Crimes for the second game. And first one was quite the showcase. Looks like War Crimes has selected Hugo in second. So Rafa's going first. See if they can bring this back. Alright, so starting off with the Airlifter. And this time, it's good. Okay, so Airlifter grabbing Emergency. So Emergency. But Bonfire is going to be activated first. Nice to get some of the searches out, sort of see if there's a Max C, see if anything's happening. We didn't see that bounce between the blue and the red, but it's also possible because, well, we're live. It's the bounce. Might have something. Whatever it is, they're not activating it, so no Max C this time. Snake Eyes Poplar hitting the field. Poplar grabbing that original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. No telling on that one. But we do see Link Karibo, so at least we know where the duel's going. Snake Eyes Poplar is going to get special summon to the field. Or rather, excuse me, places the spell and trap on the field. If you're trying to parse what Aichi is saying, there is going to be a follow-up event on November 23rd where our winner today will challenge the Shadow Duelist. So, not sure why we're separating it out, but it just means that there's even more great high-quality duel content coming your way in the future. And we do see Rescue Base. That actually is kind of how they did the previous Shadow Duelist Tournament too. They had a little bit more of the finals blocked out for that, but nothing too crazy. I'm excited to see it though. The fact that like we've got a mass celebrity playing Master Duel against whoever our champion is today. It's gonna be quite the match. Quite the match. All right, so adding that turbulence from the deck to the hand, gonna go ahead and link off the Airlifter and the Hydrant there to make, looks like an SP Little Lamp. That's good because now there's going to be quite a bit of materials there for the Turbulence in the graveyard. So that means banish 2 Rescue Aces, and the Fire Department's actually really here. We're going to set those 4 wonderful cards. Using the effect of Turbulence, it's just so powerful, just be able to set so many cool spell and trap cards. And you get a little bit of everything you need, right? Extinguish. And let's see what the other one is. It's going to be Rescue. And then after Rescue, there are some choices here. This is actually a very concerted decision, too. It's not just like you're just like click the 4 cards. Maybe they're using Reinforce. Maybe they're thinking about an emergency. Now, probably want to bring out a Rescue Ace Preventer here soon so they can special summon out a Hydrant, because Hydrant is what gets everything going correctly there. So we did see Extinguish, and as well as Alert and Emergency. So those powerful cards combined, now they've all been shuffled up. Rescue, so I guess it was Array. Always like spelling out a message with whatever it is. Speaking of spelling things out, looks like Turbulence is going away here. No, in this case, a 3-material Appaloosa Bow with the Goddess. Wow, okay. And using Emergency here, so this will probably be the Preventer. So special summon the Preventer and then tribute the Preventer to immediately use its effect to get out the Rescue Ace Hydrant, which means you can even use those cards that are set, because that means the Rescue Ace Hydra's on the field. Again, something that is set by the effect of a Rescue Ace card can be activated at the same turn. So we are going to have Alert here, and since Hydrant's on the field, you do get to treat it like reinforcements of the army. Play briefly passing over to War Crimes, but then heading on back, so maybe nothing too crazy there. Rescue Ace Impulse being added, we know that can be used to special summon another powerful Rescue Ace Machine Monster. Looks like 1 additional set card there, 2 additional set cards, so set 5. Pass. Pass. Okay, so it's end phase. War Crimes definitely has their work cut out for them. 5 points of interaction in the back row, and technically 3 in the front row, so that's like 8 things you have to play through in total. We don't know what the other 2 set cards are, but we at least know 3 of those are solid choices. So let's see exactly what happens here. All right, so nothing on either side. Now we're going to battle phase, evenly matched happening, trying to clear things out. Solemn Judgment! No! 4,000 life points to keep 4 cards back on the field. Totally worth it. Unless there's another evenly match. But this Solemn Declaration says no, we are evenly matched. But I need these cards. So on to main phase 2, no second copy of evenly matched to speak of. We are going to see infinite permanence though. Target, likely the Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, getting rid of those 3 points of interaction from its ability to negate monster effects once per chain. And it's probably going to be good here. There's not a lot in the Rescue Ace package you could do to prevent that. You wouldn't want to use Forbidden Lance, right? I mean, I guess you could protect it from the spell and trap things, but you reduce one of its negates down. Something to think about, but it looks like Melodious is what Warcrime has switched over to. So, Ostinato, time to fuse because we control nothing. So, we're gonna go ahead and see Ostinato fusing things down. And no, there's no disrespect, fam. No, it's just us today, but it'll be fully covered by the team on November 23rd when the finals happen between the Shadow Duelist and today's winner. Today's just the top cut. We gotta figure out who it is who will challenge our Shadow Duelist. Another Soul Judgment? Wow. No plus no equals no. Not a double negative this time, just 2 negatives in a row. So Ostinato also gonna get stopped. Now, technically speaking, you could just Ostinato again. Wow, okay. The Fire King Island hitting the field too. What an interesting, like, okay, but now I'm doing this. I've got multiple things I could do here. Wow, and that was it. Okay. So this time a much different outcome of the duel there. Don't think we were expecting that. Take a look at some of our in-room replays. So yeah, looks like for just these recent ones, again, we know that Jay Zhang, our I Love Synchro player, beat Arai. But now we got ourselves a final round here, right? Warcrime's taking the first one, Rafa taking the second. Nonstop DC has beaten Kaito for 1 duel, and Noobman has beaten Solid Texture for 1. So still haven't figured out anything from our top 4, but getting there. Definitely getting there. Yeah, definitely declaring things. Just incredible. Solemn Judgment, great card. I remember like when Solemn Judgment was around. Let's really wind the clock back here and then just put that on the table. People didn't want to play Solemn Judgment because they were so protective of their life points. They're like, I can't do it. I can't pay half my life points to stop 1 card. And then we found out paying half your life points to stop 1 card is the cheapest thing ever because you can always afford it. You can always afford half your life points. You still got life points, you can do it. And it's just funny to see how far duels have come. That's why I love the Time Wizard format. Like, nobody played that in 2010. Nobody played that in 2005. And you're like, yeah, we're better now. I'm like, oh. Yeah, I guess you are. That's what's so cool is that even when you return to those Fabled formats, including Fabled format, as short as that was, you actually get, like, a lot of new insight, and you can do more with it, and you can trading for card game, it's just infinite. It's infinite. You can take the same 2 decks and play, I don't know, 3 billion matches with them, and there's still going to be a lot of variation there. A lot of variation just between the shuffling and the moves and everything. So we do have, again, just Jay Zhang or I Love Synchro advancing, but that's just the 1 person we have for our top 4. Still trying to figure out where the other duelists are going to be as we wait for Rafa and Warcrime to sit back down here at table 4 right here-ish. Should be a duelist, again, right here and right over there. Just good stuff. Well, but that's a different type of deck, though, than what you're speaking of. That's things like Wall of Revealing Light, where people pay it down, jabbing the spirituals last turn, etc. It's not the way that we use it commonly today, where Solemn Judgment, even in Time Wizard formats, is just like, oh, I'm just using this as a free get-out-of-jail free card, right? So, Monopoly jokes aside, it is true that, like, things have really changed. And that's cool. That's what's really neat, is that you can't even get bored of the Time Wizard format, even if you were there, because it's so new now. It's so different every time. And other formats were a thing, too. Like, what happened in New York City for me was different than was what happened in Dallas at the time. What was happening at Dallas at the time was different than what was happening in, like, Edison, New Jersey, or Anaheim, California, etc. Everyone had their own spins. And we see that level of, like, regional differences all over the place. Great example, you know, European players are amazing at plants in terms of their tournament record. We see all types of European players topping with plant decks. We don't see that much in North America. There are great duelists with plant decks, but for whatever reason, they grab their deck box. It just doesn't contain plants when they slam it down on the table. So there's an opening if you want to be our local plant player. All right, but it's time to duel. So Snake Eye Ash being summoned out to the field here. And it's good, so we're getting Snake Eye Poplar here. Warcrime's off to a strong start. Snake Eye Poplar is going to go ahead and special summon itself out with its own effect. it'll use its next one to grab a Snake Eye spell or trap, and this time it's going to be Original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. And we haven't seen Divine Temple, obviously it feels like in a bit. It's been more Fire King oriented here. The Snake Eye package is just there to kind of like get you into some cool Flambird Dragon setups with Amblo, Whale, and IP Masquerade, excuse me there. But nothing too like getting the field spell. I get that, you don't want to have like clashy field spells. But Snake Eye Oak isn't clashing here. Poplar are going to go ahead and put Poplar in the spell and trap zone as Oak grabs Ash from the graveyard. So Poplar going to go there, and then Oak. There's Oak to Ash. So we've got, you know, all of our fun little level 1 fire friends here. Everybody is a little different. Sometimes people want to like hold on to the Snake Eye Poplar in the field. Sometimes they don't want to hold on to the Poplar in the field. It kind of goes back and forth. But we're seeing Snake Eye's Flambird Dragon there. So right away, switching over, this would be usually a spot where you would bring Promethean Princess out after doing an IP Masquerena. But instead, Flambird Dragon is going to put the Poplar back into the spell and trap zone. So that is a little different to use the Original Simple Spoils to get rid of that Snake Eye Poplar, or Snake Eyes Poplar, plural there, to bring out the legendary Fire King Ponic. So this is your way to get the Fire King Sanctuary and then get some cool Fire King follow-ups. So Fire King, you know, really powerful, great structure deck that came out, I guess it'd be the end of 2023, and then we got to the beginning of 2024, and that's how we got hit up by really all the other cool stuff beyond what came out in Age of Overlord. The Phantom Nightmare just really perfected this deck, and then Legacy of Destruction just pushed it even further. And we are still seeing a lot of Diabellstar play in the TCG because of things like Deception of Sinful Spoils, Enrage of the Abyss. But right now in Master Duel, we don't have all of those tools, so it's much more of kind of what we were experiencing in February, kind of like Fire King Snake Eye with Salamangreat, Raging Phoenix, the World 2 Dragon Princess. It's just good stuff. It shows you how good this deck is. Now you can pick out one of your favorites and say, yeah, I just love this deck, why should I change? But we are seeing the Fire King Island go ahead and destroy the Ponics. Ponics grabbing the Sacred Fire King Garunix there, effectively with its sacrifice to the Fire King Island. And the Garunix seeing something bad happen to a fire monster, so immediately showing up to destroy the Fire King Avatar Arvada from the deck there, gaining a little bit of power for it. Arvada going to go ahead and special summon the Ponics. And then if it's still there on the field, destroy it during the end phase of the turn. Alright, so those monsters are now going to get linked off. And so we are going to have Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. We're just talking about Salamangreat. Sunlight Wolf, a really great way to resource loop as well. Special summoning to that coveted Link Arrow. And getting a Pronix as well there off of the Flambird Dragon. Since Sunlight Wolf did have a monster special summon to a zone that it wants to, you still get to add the Flambird Dragon back to the hand, so you can try to do some fun things with that later. But for now, we're going to see a Link summon. So Poplar is going to probably take the Link Karibo here. It is a down arrow, and there's Link Karibo. So, also giving you access to things like materials for SP Little Knight. We are going to see Link Karibo and Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf now linked off for another Link monster. This time, it is going to be Decode Talker Heat Soul. So we're going to pay some life points here. 1,000 off the top to draw one additional card. Just getting as many resources as you can. Again, this is the final duel in this 2 out of 3 set in our top 8. You gotta give everything you've got, because when are you gonna get another chance to do it? There's no duel after this for at least one of these 2 duels. IP Masquerade appearing on the field as well. 25% usage rate. Interesting, only 1 out of 4 duelists uses the IP Masquerade. But Masquerade is gone, combining with Fire King Ponic. Now for the Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames. So just climbing through the numbers here. Can't be destroyed by card effects. Locked into fire. Gonna go ahead and special summon the Fire King Avatar Arvada, having that negation effect there for monster effects. Very powerful and lets you destroy a fire monster as well. Seems like a cost. It's not really a cost. You're really just there to just kind of get more stuff on the field when you destroy Fire King cards. Things are kind of slowed down here. Probably still gonna see one more Link summon of some kind to get the Promethean Princess to the graveyard, burning up all the Link materials there that Salamangreat Or excuse me, a Salamander. I mean, it feels like a Salamander card, right? Eco Talker Heat Soul could be used for it. But that'll make the Amphibious Swarm Ship Ambler Whale after all. Setting 2 more cards after that and passing. So notice how concerted and careful this play is, right? You've got the Arvada for the negation. You've got the Amphibious Swarm Ship Ambler Whale to be the card that's destroyed by the Promethean Princess, and then that'll get it to the graveyard to also be able to get some more stuff done too. So this is very, like, I'm very carefully approaching this duel. Warcrime saying I'm not going to be going too far. This is the top 8 of this tournament. I cannot lose. Rafa sticking with the Rescue Ace cards. They're activating the Rescue Ace HQ. And then using that effect of the double normal summon there, so Rescue Ace Hydrant appearing on the field. Gets 500 attack point boost, of course, by the Rescue Ace HQ since the opponent controls a monster there. Fire Department always feels a little stronger when it's doing its job. Very careful about whether or not to activate the Hydrant. Could use that to just kind of get it out of the way, the negation effect of the Arvada, but it's also negated, so it's kind of bad. So you have to decide, like, am I going to push or not? Similarly, Warcrimes has to decide, am I going to negate that or what else might he have? Well, not worried about that too much because using the Fire King Skyburn to try to clear these monsters off the field before it's even an issue. So, Fire King Avatar Arvada Destroy going to go ahead and grab a Fire King-like monster out of the graveyard right now. Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, Wing Beast. That's going to be Ponix. The Affection Negate ability destroyed at the end of the turn, which means Ponix could be added back to the hand during the next standby phase. So great resource loops here and still able to negate there. Just want to go ahead and get that out of the way and putting another defense mode monster on the field, just trying to defend all the life points. Cannot go anywhere. We do have an update from our bracket. Looks like Noob Man advances over Solid Texture, so we've got 1/2 of each of the top 4, but Kaito and Nonstop DC are still playing to figure out who will play Noob Man, and we're still playing here to figure out who will play J-Sang or I Love Synchro. So Alert is going to get activated here, gets to add one from the graveyard back to the hand. Could normal summon the Rescue Ace Hydrant again here, never activated its effect in the first place, so can use it for the first time. But Solemn Judgment again, 3,500 life points to solemnly declare no. So the biggest of no's does put that card back into the graveyard. Maybe if you had a Rescue Ace Preventer, you could banish it just to kind of keep things going. Hey, there's Rescue Ace Preventer! Turn the commentator's curse into a blessing for once. To predict the future here as we banish Rescue Ace Hydrant, special summon the Rescue Ace Preventer, and if that goes to the graveyard, then you could special summon, and well, it may very well be, because immediately seeing the activated Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames here, getting rid of the Ponix, and getting rid of the Preventer. Preventer will be destroyed, but that's okay, because that just means you get to have access to the Rescue Ace Hydrant again. So Rafa just thoroughly trying to just hook that hose up to the Hydrant and finally get this combo going. The fire monsters were destroyed, so Fire King Garunix back in action, this time the Sacred Edition. So it's in attack mode. Rescue Ace Hydrant special summoned in defense mode. But we still do have that Garunix, don't we? So it's just the battle of the Hydrant here. Kieran destroyed from the deck. Now Kieran's effect gets to be activated, and this Hydrant is just, it's trying so hard. But we do get to special summon there. And there goes the Hydrant again. That's the 3rd time it's been gotten rid of. Will it come back again? Rafa just doing an incredible job of trying to push through these defenses, but Warcrimes, well, doing an equally incredible job employing those defenses, making sure that nothing gets through. We're a fire deck. We don't take kindly to the fire department. We're going to burn bright here. Warcrimes maybe about to edge into the top 4 here. Rafa's turn, still here. 2 cards in the hand. They better be 2 good ones. Or at least something that can get you going. Taking a look at time here. Looks like this round will end in approximately 14 minutes, so no photo finish. Life points practically irrelevant here. It's all about the cards on the table. All right. Well, with nothing new going on, what will Rafa do next? Just 2 cards. I mean, maybe, but he's already normal summoned twice. Once by the effects of the Rescue Ace HQ, and once just using the rules of the game. Maybe double summon, and then another copy of Rescue Ace Hydrant from the hand. That would at least get this play started. In fact, actually, that would be pretty good. A double summon in any Rescue Ace card would get you going, whether it's Airlifter, maybe it's another Hydrant. Oh, just wringing our hands here. We've seen this sort of pause before as the Duelist tries to figure out, but we've got triple Tactics talent. Do we draw? Do we take a monster? It's going to be interesting. What do they decide to do? As they raise that goodbye, they're going to take control of a monster. That's what that is, by the way. Technical term. It's a ancient Japanese war fan. They do take the Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames. Entering the battle phase here. I think we're going to knock out the Arvada, so we can use the effect with impunity. No worries of negates here. Can we do it? Yes, we can. So during the main phase, you can special summon. So remember, the way that you know it works, if it said once per turn, no. If it says you can only use this once, yes. And so since having that advanced knowledge, Rafa was able to steal the monster, bring out the Hydrant, and now Hydrant's here. The fourth Hydrant. The fourth Hydrant. Well, technically the same Hydrant 4 times, but you know what I mean. So grabbing that Turbulence could link off these monsters and shall in order to bring out a Heat of the Fire Charmer Ablaze, maybe even grabbing the Promethean Princess back again. Alright. No, this time grabbing Snake Eye Ash. This turn is about to explode wide open. So Snake Eye Ash, stolen from the opponent, using its effect to grab Snake Eye Poplar there. And by the way, definitely telegraphed the Triple Tactics talent, because look at the sleeves, by the way. Hey, he warned him. He warned him. All right, so we do see Snake Eye's Poplar finally hit the field. And that'll be used for the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. So a lot of different choices, but finally running it all the way back. This turn has been absolutely incredible. Again, final game here. Winner advances. So Poplar combines now for, looks like an SP Little Knight, interestingly enough. Able to banish something out of the graveyard using the effect, and Snake Eyes Poplar also being able to place something into the Spell and Trap zone. So has to be decisive here with that SP Little Knight effect. Certainly made those materials for a reason. Didn't want to just give up a Link monster for the heck of it. A lot of choices. I would imagine you would banish your opponent's Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames from the graveyard so they couldn't use it again later. But you also might want to get rid of certain things like the Ponix, just so it doesn't come back, or maybe the Arvada. There's a lot of different choices here. So you also could just banish the Fire King Islands as a way to clear the board here. So that appears to be what's happening. So it looks like we're all on the same page, the Duelist, the chat, and me. Fire King Island is going to destroy those monsters, but we did see Amphibious Swarm Ship and Blue Whale destroyed, so it will activate its effect, take a little bit of revenge. And bring it back to Decode Talker Heat Soul, actually. Interesting. So Decode Talker Heat Soul slashing that Flaming Sword of its, and going to go ahead and pay 1,000 life points and just draw one new option. Just pedal to the metal. Life points be darned. We've got only 1,600 life points down there from KOH War Crimes. The turn continues. Its original Sinful Spoils is used, putting Poplar in the graveyard, but Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring seems to have been the top card drawn there from the Decode Talker Heat Soul, able to finally say no. All right, so that was exactly what was needed, but now Rescue Ace Turbulence is going to show up. Banishing a copy of Alert and the Rescue Ace Hydrant. So get those fire hoses ready. In one tube and out the other, as Rescue Ace Turbulence is able to set 4 different cards here, not being stopped here. Extinguish. Emergency. So we've spelled E so far. Rescue, ear. And that's all we got for now. So spelling out ear, and hopefully that gets it done. But there's some great cards, and Rescue certainly able to do a lot of work there. It doesn't seem like there's a Hydrant in the graveyard anymore, just that final Hydrant being banished along with Alert. The material's there, but remember, you could recycle those cards using the effect of the Rescue Ace HQ. Don't feel too bad about it. They do just fine. Now they're going in for another Link Summon here, this time Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy, and there is an IP Masquerade into graveyards. It's going to become property here of Rafa, who's able to use that to just sort of jump into the game at a moment's notice. A lot of different things you can do with it. 4 Link materials on the field. But since the extra deck was accessed twice, we're doing it. We're going to turn our Rescue Ace Turbulence definitely into Sky Crisis. Typhon, yeah, so the Superstar Slayer's here. And what a start it is. Removing that material, and then bouncing the Salamangrate-esque Decode Talker Heat Soul back to the extra deck. So 3 cards left for Warcrime. 4 now with only 1,600 life points. It's so much to play through. Rafa doing an excellent job just coming back basically from the dead. That Rescue Ace Hydrant showing up on the field not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. Finally able to resolve, just getting back into the game with the triple tactics talent. The dangers of the fire meta, we say. Well, here's the first letter E, by the way. So Emergency is here. And it might just be Preventer to tribute Preventer to bring out Rescue Ace Hydrant again, making every one of those remaining Rescue Ace cards extremely live. Extremely live. So, Preventer using that exact effect. But what? It's Psyframe Gear Gamma. Not controlling any monsters has its advantages. But we're going to use Rescue. Rescue able to bring back the Preventer there. Any response? Nothing this time. All right. So, wind it all back. First, Rescue will rescue Preventer. Psyframe Gear Gamma. Used on the standby here is Warcrime's turn. So we do get our materials. Gonna, of course, negate that first effect. It's funny that negated on the field, even though it's like really supposed to be the graveyard effect. Just nice to have it like move over. So now what to do? Now what to do? Player priority back in the hands of Warcrimes, able to synchro summon with materials, as you see, a tuner and a non-tuner monster, forging up to level 8. Also able to perform a Link Summon as well. Preventer not necessarily a threat here. Going in the battle phase. Possibly trying to force things out by having the Psyframe Gear Gamma attack the IP Masquerena. That's exactly what we're doing here. So 200 life points. Gonna put that back in the graveyard for later use. And also makes the Swarm Ship and Blue Whale alive here because a Link monster was destroyed. So IP Masquerade into the graveyard is kind of perfect. And so the Swarm Ship sort of thinking its way out of here. Gonna go ahead and destroy the face down card. Just luck of the draw there, able to get rid of the Extinguish. Now 2,500 off the top feels pretty good, destroying Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. And no effect actually, so nothing small enough there. Moving on to main phase 2. See if we're going to maybe Link, maybe Synchro. If there was a Synchro summon, that'd be pretty creative for sure. Not just using the Gamma for Grins, but Legendary Fire King Ponix, normal summon to the field. Not a whole lot of things left to grab from the deck, so immediately going into a Link summon there, saying goodbye to the driver. And bringing out their own Heat of the Fire Charmer Ablaze, so Warcrime's possibly going to be borrowing some stuff from the graveyard here from Rafa. I mean, he kind of gave away the goose here. We are in a Fire Dark meta, so let's grab a Poplar. And that likely means that Poplar can go ahead and activate that effect. We haven't seen the Divine Temple yet, so it may still be in the deck, or maybe just want a level 1 Fire Monster just for the heck of it. Yeah, so we are going to say goodbye. Interesting to choose the Poplar then, because you are putting the Poplar in the Spell and Trap zone for the opponent, but SP Lone Light hitting the field here. Going to go ahead and use the Banish effect. Banishing the Preventer so it doesn't go to the graveyard, so it doesn't actually get to use that powerful effect. But yes, we just talked about it. Poplar is going to be able to play something in the Spell and Trap zone, and so it puts the other Preventer into the Spell and Trap zone. An interesting way to make sure that it's on the field to go to the graveyard to get the monster effect. So Resolve. Here we go. Preventer to the Spell and Trap zone. Preventer also to the Banishment. And end phase. So, Cypher and Gear Gamma, goodbye for now. Did a great job of changing the pace of this duel, but now we're back to Rafa's side. Higher life points for sure. Still plenty of time on the clock, about 9 minutes left. Actually, excuse me. It's actually 4 minutes left, so 4 minutes, a little close. War Crimes can hold it out. The life point differential will have to be closed sooner rather than later. SP Little Knight just staring down the Superstar Slayer Sky Crisis Typhon. What to do next with the Typhon? Do you crash into the SP Little Knight and not afford your opponent anything, or just banish the original Simple Small Snake Eye? Well, it looks like we're going to recycle that Poplar after all. That gives an opportunity here for the SP Little Knight to banish both, but it seems like it will hold off. That might be a little too much there for War Crimes taste. Rafa, of course, can still use the field spell there and does it immediately now, so going to use the normal summon there. Thought we were going to see the recycle, shuffling in those 4 cards back to the deck to make Poplar a little bit more accessible. But now we'll see the SP Little Knight go ahead and banish both itself and the Typhon, surprisingly enough. And that's going to be met with Extinguish. It's been sitting there since the last Turbulence set, so Extinguish will shut that down. Doesn't seem like there's anything further here, so Extinguish, no. Turn that way off and unable to banish those targets. So Airlift are appearing now, and I think this is going to be Rafa's ability to come back here because there's very few resources on War Crimes side. We do it to the battle phase though, so 2,900. That's all she wrote. Okay, Rafa advancing over War Crimes in the top 4 with some amazing Rescue Ace play. Seeing the Flamberge Dragon there roaring triumphantly. Well earned, hard fought. All right, so let's see if we got our bracket updates here. Because GG. Yeah, that was the last one. So taking a look at our top 4 bracket. Noob Man will be playing Kaito, and I Love Synchro, also known as Jaezong, is going to be playing Wrath. So Rafa for King, man, he was not kidding. That was some interesting stuff there. War Crimes just unable to hold it down, but good stuff. So yeah, we just have to wait for the results to get computed, and before we know it, we will be back on track for the top 4. And again, after the top 4, only a little bit left to go. Then it's our finals. Can we do that? Can we live? Because can my heart handle that? Yeah, it's still beating. Okay. Good deal, good deal. It's just been insane. It's just been great duels. Just some incredible duels. Good stuff. And all of this will be put up on the YouTube channel later, so you don't have to worry about it if anybody happens to step away, just like I am now, and thinks to themselves, oh no, I missed all the dueling action. What happened? What are we doing? Well, good news. You don't have to worry, because we're still going to have this on YouTube. Wow, though, can't believe it. Remember, November 23rd, in about 2 weeks' time, whoever wins today will be challenging the Shadow Duels, and that's exciting. That is exciting. All right, just making sure. Take a look at the chat here and the results. Looks like the results have been reported. Updated bracket. Bracket just got updated. So we should have our updated bracket announcements shortly. I mean, we announced it. We know what's going on, but it still has to be officially penned in there so the duelists know what's going on. They're ready to sit down. Hopefully you've had a great time. I'm Pheromone. This is the Shadow Duelist Tournament, and we are entering the top 4 to figure out who's going to take on that celebrity duelist. And whew, this is a lot. This is a lot. Because, you know, every duel is exciting. And every duel means something. Every duel is one step closer for one duelist today to take home quite a bunch of prizing. And our prizing is actually pretty sick here because, again, for everybody here is getting the Master Duel Backpack, the Time Wizard plush, the Rescue Rabbit plush for our top 4 and up. But now, each of these players who advances out of the top 4 to the top 2 is going to take home a Steam Deck, which you can also play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, really any Yu-Gi-Oh! Games that are available on Steam. And then we get to the finals. The finals are competing not only for the celebrity autographed Shadow Duelist mask, but they get that Kashtira Fenrir Giant card. And giant cards, they're giant. They're giant. They're like really giant. You're going to want to put that in the frame with some museum glass so it doesn't like get burnt out by the sun. And we don't know who that is. So it's coming. But yeah, hopefully you're having a great time. If you like these tournaments, if you think it's cool that you had a free-to-play tournament you can enter on Discord, let the powers that be know. Tweet about it. Post on X. Shout out on Instagram. On Facebook, let your friends know. You know, be everywhere and tell them you want more free tournaments, because this has been a blast. Like, it is incredible. It is incredible that we're in this era where you'd be like, yeah, I got nothing to duel. Sure, I'll show up and do it. But we are down to the wire. 4 duelists remain. This is like Battle City Finals level of stuff. Taking a look at the chat from the Discord here, see if there's anything we're missing out on. Seems like not too much. Right, room code seems to be the same. Okay, so we haven't missed anything. Yeah, just making sure we didn't miss anything. If you see me just like silently staring, what could Pheromone be thinking? Administrative Yu-Gi-Oh thoughts. But nothing new to speak of here, so we're just waiting for our duelists to be ready to go here. So I think they're just updating the bracket and making sure everyone's good. Again, Noobman versus Kaito. And we can definitely show the journeys too here while we're waiting. So let me go switch back into our bracket mode. And just seeing, you know, Noobman having to beat you know, Techno Tenor and Dr. Stone and Solid Texture to get to where they are now. Kaito having to take down, you know, Young Yeetus and I Wish I Was Dead Today and Nonstop DC. Great performances from all of those duelists. And then, of course, you know, Jae Zong, who we haven't got to see, so that'll probably be the person that we're going to feature next, being able to take on, you know, duelists like Ibasal and Hipster and Arai. And then finally, Raptor King, we know how incredible the Rescue Ace performance has been so far. So we'll definitely take a look at Jae Zong on this one, because we've gotten to see Noobman and Kaito before, just to bounce around and make sure that we don't miss anybody. But this is going to be crazy. Like, it's really down. We're just finding out who these last 2 spots are in our 29th and 30 games here in the top 32. Just everybody playing everybody. But I'm here for it. Now, the duelists aren't here for it yet. That's the only thing we're worried about. They'll probably be given a start time soon, though, so we'll just kind of hang out until it is time to duel. Take a look at questions and whatnot. Everybody is filling out their paperwork. They did get prizes to, across the board to the top 16. So everybody at least taking home a plushie to fondly remember this tournament by. And then looks like, yep. Just hanging out. Well, hopefully you're having a good time. Because if not, I'm sorry. That's my fault. My bad. but this has just been really cool stuff. And again, we only probably have about maybe an hour and a half left, if you do the math right. If you think there's a 45-minute round left, and we have another 45-minute, and we don't know how long that set will be. But we're going to be crowning our Shadow Duelist Series 2 champion, at least within an hour and a half. So, of course, you're watching this on YouTube, you can just like forward to the end, but don't do that. Don't do that. Let me pause your YouTube thoughts and just be like, no, watch the whole tournament. It's worth it, including us just hanging out in between as we jam out to the Master Duel thing. It's a shame that nobody's rocking out the Evil Twin Live Twin anniversary set, because man, that song is just incredible, incredible. But I guess we'll hear it when we hear it. Maybe we'll hear it on our weekly streams. But for now, just waiting to find the best and brightest duels. Make sure I'm not missing anybody up here at the top table. Nope. We are good. I'm going to pull something briefly off screen here so I can check something on Master Duel and make sure that we're not missing anything. Nope, we're good. We're good. Just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything, because that'd be very silly, wouldn't it? But no, we are just hanging out waiting, and there are only 4 duelists left in the tournament. Again, it's going to be Noobman, Kaito, Jae Zong, and Rafa. So those are your 4. So if you want to, like, give your power, lend your dueling energies, and send them one way, you got 4 directions to choose. So let us know in the chat who you are active to see. Because there's a lot of duelists to be, you know, loud about. But nothing happened yet. Just waiting it out. And there are some Challenger Cups and stuff going on. Taking a look here at the broader world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't see too many other announcements, though, going on. Guess we can update the chat here. Yeah, because it is top 4. Just wild. All right, making sure there's no... I don't think there's any delays. I think they're just kind of hanging out, making sure we get everything going. There's also some paperwork that has to be filled out as well. Now, 3rd and 4th get the same prize, so we're not going to have a 3rd, 4th playoff. You don't have to worry about anything like that, which is a shame because it meant we could have had like another duel. But, you know, maybe next time. But plenty of prizes to go around. Not seeing anything in the chat channels for anything else. I know. If only we would know who's better there, Kaiba or Joey. Looks like we are seeing some movement, so I think we're going to be sitting down for our top 4 soon. And again, we haven't got to see Jaezong and how they got this far in the tournament, so we're definitely going to be featuring them now. May miss out on what's going up top, but we shall see. All right, so there's an audio channel, so they've got to get a little bit of info here, so it sounds like we've got at least about a minute or so just to chill. So we'll wait for our tournament organizers just to figure stuff out. So I guess we're just hanging out for a second. Well, that's cool. So again, just chilling here. Again, we're waiting for the top 4 to start between, again, it's Rafa, Kaito, Jaezong, and I want to say New Band 93. And incredible duels across the board. We've seen everything from Melodius, we've seen Rescue Ace, we've seen Yubel, we have seen Fire Kings, we've seen Snake Eye, pretty decent deck diversity, and of course we've seen Tenpai too. But we haven't seen like any deck do exactly what it's supposed to do because every duelist is trying their hardest to make sure that they advance in this tournament. It's a very prestigious tournament where, you know, everybody's going to want to know who that celebrity duelist is, and it also means that whatever duel they have against the celebrity duelist, the Shadow Duelist as it were, is going to be highly visible. So it's not just about playing for a Steam Deck, it's not just about playing for plushies, it's not just about playing for prizes. It's about the entire dueling community staring at that one duelist, right? It seems like we got a small crowd today, but when the finals show up on November 23rd, all eyes are going to be on them to find out if they're going to beat and reveal the celeb and win the mask. So pretty high stakes event. So certainly makes sense that they're getting a few updates here, and it seems like all 4 of them are in there with our tournament staff just getting like some sort of update or something like that. And as soon as we know when the tournament is starting, we'll go ahead and let you know. We're here for you. The stream ain't for me. It's not just for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. It's for these 4 duelists to have some sort of memory that they can look back on. The highs, the lows, the roller coaster of emotion that is Yu-Gi-Oh! And this trading card game that we love so much. And you know I love it. That's for sure. And there's so much Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, if you go down the hallway that way on Discord, I mean, not physically, but metaphorically speaking, the remote duel YCS is still firing public events. So if you haven't gotten enough Yu-Gi-Oh!, you can still play even more Yu-Gi-Oh! And after that, you know, the next format is beginning before we know it, because for paper TCG, for the physical Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, remember that we also have, you know, new sets coming out soon. We've got that YCS coming up in Anaheim, I want to say on December like 7th, 8th, 9th. So gonna be a fun weekend there for sure. Just if you love Yu-Gi-Oh!, I've got good news for you. It's a great time to duel. It's always time to duel, but man, there's so many different ways to play. I'm looking at like a little like Discord chat over here on the side. Well, I guess technically it's on that side, to make sure that we don't miss anything. So it looks like all the players are just muted, receiving instructions. So just hanging out. If there's any questions you have about the tournament, about me, about dueling, just let me know in the chat. Happy to help. But I want to make sure we just took a moment to think about what we're doing. Oh yeah, the Flame Swordsman. Yep, you're right. Forgot about Flame Swordsman on that list. Yeah, the Flame Swordsman stuff was really cool too. And just a really cool deck. I know somewhere in the deck box behind me, I think one of the purple ones, I still have like my Joey deck from the Team APS duel that I had on YouTube. And it's a great deck. And I have not been able to play that great deck in a while, so excuse me, a little dry here. But yeah, good cards, good company. That's you, friends. And we're just waiting to find our next set of duels here. Somebody I know on YouTube is going to do the huge favor of entering time codes in the chat so they can just be like, skip to the duel, skip to the top 4, skip to the top 8. And if they don't, I will, so don't worry, we'll get to it. But after this, I do intend to download the VOD and go ahead and put that up on YouTube so everybody can remember this. And I'm seeing prize winners get changed out here. Oh, there's more announcements for public events for the Remote Duel YCS, so certainly a lot of ways to duel. But yeah, just take a look at the chat here from... Alright, so it took them a second to get heard. So now they should all be going. I'm not going to eavesdrop on that because that's private tournament business. Keep that under wraps. But at the same time, just to know what's going on, just so you guys have an update. So you'd be like, what's happening, Pharaoh? Well, I know about as much as you do, but I know dueling will happen soon. But what a great day. Great Sunday as we're here on November 10th, depending on where you are in the world. And I think they're asking some questions of them. I think it's probably just to make sure that everybody's good to go. So that'll be exciting to find out. And also, too, this is a moment to breathe, right? You know, all these duels, especially yesterday, we're just going and going and going. And so this is your top fours moment, just feel like, whew. Okay, I really could make this. I could be it. I could challenge the Shadow Duelists. So that's exciting, too. Hopefully, we get to hear from those duelists when the final event happens. Because that's always thrilling, you know, to be able to talk to the players there. All right. I'm seeing some progress there. I'm seeing some movement. Might be good. And I'm looking forward to future formats. Not just, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, just like this format's insane. Like, oh my goodness. Like, all the new packs, new stuff, new everything. Just great. All right, soon. Soon, my friends. Soon. Thank you for being patient, because I'm being patient too. I'm just sitting here like vibrating, waiting for the duel in action. But yeah, think we should have it soon. All right, yeah, they're figuring administrative stuff. Well, just to vamp with you guys again. Really looking forward to the top 4 cut that we have here, and again, just some incredible stuff. If you had a good time, hopefully we get to do some of these again. And there's literally like a Challenger Cup happening right now in Latin America. There's the remote duel stuff, like dueling online, dueling in person. There's just so many great places to duel it, right? And definitely been experimenting ourselves here on our channel. We were having some remote duel shenanigans on Friday. And just some great stuff across the board. Looks like... Okay, yeah, so we're going to do the full top cut, but it looks like our finals will be saved, I think. Okay, let me make sure. I'm just going to get a little update from my side. Okay, yeah. Give me just a sec. We're finding some stuff out today. All right, I'm asking some questions here because we may... I'm trying to find out if we're deciding top 4 or top 2 or the whole thing today. Just want to make sure we have full info. Hold for applause. Answers coming shortly. I want to make sure that you guys have updated info. I did, by the way. Spoiler alert for Fridays. Okay, so okay, cool. So we got our answer. We are doing the entire tournament today. So don't you go anywhere, because the player don't go anywhere. Players are sitting down. It's time to duel. That's all I gotta know. Okay. So that's cool. It looks like all of the player meeting stuff has been concluded. So again, thank you so much for your patience. Because I know if I'm vibrating, ready to watch duels, you must be just like, I'm ready. make them duel pheromone. Well, I don't have anything to do with the fact that they are about to duel, but they are about to duel, so we all win anyway. And pulling up the announcements here. Looks like we're getting pairings. Well, we know our pairings, though. We do know. Again, let's get a reminder of our bracket, shall we? So, we are going to be watching Noobman versus Kaido and Jaezong versus Rafa. And just huge journeys, again, each of them taking on just some incredible Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel talent here today. And it looks like we are going to be starting soon here. So we're going to pull down the bracket. And our official start time is going to be in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Definitely just been incredible talent. I love the battle of the, well, they're not Karibos. Everybody says that the Gaddock is a Karibo, but it's not a Karibo. It's Ghost in the Attic, which looks like a Karibo. But so does Sangan. There's a lot of, like, Karibos in Yu-Gi-Oh! That aren't even Karibos, including some Karibos. Yeah, that made sense, I'm sure. But we got Jaezong here, and that's a duelist that we really haven't seen a whole lot of kind of evading our watchful eye. But in just less than 3 minutes here, we are finally going to get to see what they are all about. And they're sporting really great, you know, the Evil Twin Live Twin accessory bundle. Just cool stuff. Absolutely cool stuff. Curious to know, like, what the next anniversary, like, big bundle would be, because we got the Blue Eyes one, we got the Evil Twin Live Twin one, we got the Final Duel one, which is what I'm using for my Shining Sarcophagus deck. So a lot of great ways to, like, trick out your dueling kit with the duel field and your mates and the mate base, etc. But I am curious to know in a couple of months, you know, when the anniversary rolls up. Usually they do one for that. Not promising that they are, but usually they do one. So powers that be. Could be like something GX themed, right? Because we did have 2 really good Duel Monster ones. Can you imagine if it was like Duel Academy? Just straight up Duel Academy. There's not as thick a code of anime references in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel the way there is in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Duel Links recreating some of the coolest locations from throughout the anime, and getting, you know, many of the original voice cast, fully voiced over characters, over 100 plus. Like, Duel Links definitely gets me excited about Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it is Yu-Gi-Oh! It's historically all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though it's a speed duel format. But Master Duel no slouch either, with some great homages to Yu-Gi-Oh!'s history. And about a minute here. Jaezong should have their opponent sitting down. Guess they are trying to determine what they're going to be playing. Excited to see. All right, so a little bit of an update. So we are actually going to close out on streaming top 4. Because it looks like they are going to be doing the top 2 as part of the big event that comes out next time. So to be continued, this is going to be our last round for the day. Oh no, oh no. That means we gotta wait, because I'm gonna wait too. I'm actually gonna exit the room and save the spoiler for myself. So yeah, we only get to find out who the finalists are today. Okay, and then we save that suspense for later. Okay. Woo! Ooh, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be vibrating a lot. I am gonna be vibrating a lot. Cause I'm honest with you. I'm really going to leave this duel room after this, and maybe we'll switch and we'll stream something else later tonight. But let's find out. Between Jaezong and Rafa, who we've got here. Okay, okay, this is intense. Well, thank you again for being patient with us and figuring stuff out. Looks like this is the last round we get to do. Let's make it a good one. As Jaezong unveils their secret strategy, we finally get to see what they've been playing. But Rafa's going first here. Alright, so Tenpai Dragon Pydra hitting the board here. And Sangen Kaiman coming to the hand there. Oh, that could be it. Maybe. Maybe we'll see. Alright, so Sangen Kaiman hit the board there. Immediately going to add a level 4 monster, or Genroku seems to be the choice here. So Genroku will become a level 4 monster as it uses its effect since it was added from the deck to the hand. Special summon is a tuner, and yep, it's going to go ahead and level on up. Feeling tough, feeling fiery. Again, this is it. This is the last set of games here. So Tenpai Dragon Genroku going to go ahead and use its effect there. I like how it became the tuner, and then it just like, I don't really need to be a tuner. I'm going to go ahead and bring out Tenpai Dragon Fadra. So Fadra going to special summon the Genroku, but it's not a tuner anymore. So there are no tuners on the field just yet. It could be a Seal's Pass. Maybe Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. Alright, Ribbit is totally awesome. Just sort of stares into the distance, wondering what its controller Rafa will do next for it. We are live now. And what I mean, by the way, when I say we're live, is that we get a little bit of a replay of the duel at the beginning, and it seems a little faster than usual gameplay for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. But then if you look at the very bottom of the screen, right next to the chat, you'll see that yellow label where it says live. That means that we're watching everything in real time. It's sort of caught up, and now you're just watching the duel saying, well, here is the Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. And a set card, and that's it. So Jaezong, notorious in this tournament, but now we're about to find out why. Draws a card using nothing, by the way. Like no sleeves, no dual field, and if I click behind it, the main is Pearly, but no mate base. And you can see the Pearly behind me if I get my mug out of the way. And then click over there, there's the Pearly. Pearly gets to be Pheromone for just a second. Sangen Kaiman being activated in response to the heavy storm. Curious enough, they get another Tenpai Dragon Genroku. Nah, looks like we're gonna add Pydra so they have a better turn next turn. Heavy storm gonna sweep the board here. And we'll see what happens next. So Raigeki is gonna get used, little Sanda Boruto. But chaining the Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. It's gonna use its effect now. And we'll see what gets swapped out to be destroyed. Maybe just loading up the graveyard with some additional dragon monsters so it's a little bit easier to use later. Decided to bounce the Genroku. Very cool. Basically just dodged the Raigeki so nothing got destroyed. And Genroku was added to the hand from the field, so it does get special summoned back. So almost nothing accomplished by the Raigeki, right? All the monsters jumped out of the way and then they all kind of came crashing back down. And it is a tuner now, so being able to bring out something like Fadra or Chundra, basically... Oh, actually we're doing Pydra now, so a Pydra for next turn and a Pydra for this turn. But Pydra does get to use its effect to add to the hand or set a Sangen spell or trap card. So it could be a Sangen Kaiman, could be a Sangen Summoning. Looks like it's going to be another copy of Sangen Kaiman, securing the access there to being able to get through the battle phase. And you're absolutely right, this could be a Black Rose Dragon, but also this could be a Black Rose Dragon as Tenpai Dragon Pydra is on Jaezong's field. So Tenpai to victory, one card away from completing the puzzle here. Alright, so Sangen Summoning being set there to the field. Then Sangen Summoning getting flipped over immediately. So Black Rose Dragon, if you were going to do it, maybe now is the time. It doesn't seem like it is in the cards for the opponent. So, Tenpai Dragon Genroku added. There's a lot of good reasons not to use the Black Rose Dragon, right? If you're destroying the field spell at the same time as the Pydra's just going to say. But Tenpai Dragon Genroku being added from the deck to the hand, going to use the effect, special summon itself. And shall it become a tuner? Yes, it shall. Tuner 4. Now, Tenpai Dragon Chundra using its effect to be special summoned to the field since the Fire Dragon monster is controlled by Jaezong. And so, a lot of great pieces of the puzzle here. Need to do something with that, so it seems like we've sort of passed priority back and forth. It's me, it's you, it's me, no, it's you. Okay, so, back in. time for... It's like a synchro summon here, a tuner and a non-tuner monster, to make Sungenpai Biden Dragion, but doing it actually during the main phase here, not waiting for the battle phase. He's going to special summon the Pydra immediately there. So now got Pydra, Shundra, and Sungenpai Biden Dragion. But now another synchro summon, could be going for the Transcendent Dragion right away. And blast away, we're doing it. All the tiles placed on the field, turning all the monsters to attack mode. That's going to mean some major damage here. Only 2 attacks to speak of so far. The quick effect, we're going to go ahead and tribute the Tenpai Dragon Genroku to get another defense mode monster on the field. And this time it's going to be Tenpai Dragon Fadra. Fadra's effect will activate as well, shoring up even more defenses. Alright, so Tenpai Dragon Fadra selected its target. Tenpai Dragon Fadra. Seem familiar? Well, you know, they're one piece away from getting a triplet in Mahjong. Pieces are on the board, but someone's going to have to discard a tile at some point. Mahjong jokes aside, though, there's a lot of battle phase action about to happen. Remember, Tenpai is effectively a status in Mahjong where you're one piece away from victory. One piece away from victory. And there's also a status called No 10, where you're like, I'm not one piece away from victory. So we'll see who's in Tenpai status and who's in No 10 status. But references, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game aside, we're seeing some great Pot of Prosperity targets, including Dark Hole. Can you imagine just like, you know what? Start this whole thing over again. We're going to grab Sungen Kaimen to give enough pieces here to make sure that there are no more shenanigans happening on the other side, right? Just getting all the pieces you need to attack through whatever it is they're about to do. Would be nice to be able to pre-clear out the board. Remember, Pot of Prosperity means that we are going to have a very expensive turn here. If we're going to try to go for a game, you're going to have to really put as much power onto the field as possible, since you got half damage. If you have any damage, since there's that Tenpai Dragon Pydra on the field, the Trintra going to be the first target there for the Pydra. And Trintra's effect activating at the start of the damage step here. So another Tenpai Dragon Fadra hits the field here. I mean, we definitely got 3 greens. But speaking of green, green means go, and Tenpai Dragon's Fadra effect is a go. As it tries to target something from the graveyard, now grabbing a Tenpai Dragon Pydra in order to have another piece of the puzzle here. Both players kind of having to think about who's attacking and how many times. That's 1 attack so far. No damage, no destruction. Got to get something done here. Feels pretty good, right? You can still do some quick synchro summons. There's a lot of ways through here. So here comes your first quick synchro. Tenpai Dragon Shundra. Not going to wait for the other monsters to attack first. So no attacks from Fadra, no attacks from Pydra. Limiting as much as you can the attacks, just to make sure your opponent doesn't have anything fun planned. There's no tuners on the field yet, so no quick synchros. But this is it. Remember, we're not going to get to see what happens in the top 2 in our grand finals. So we're just waiting things out. As things light up here in our top 4. All right. So, 2 pieces of the puzzle. Shundra, Fadra. We're gonna go ahead and turn into Queebelt the Blade Dragon. We have seen a couple times in the tournament here, allowing a card to be targeted off the field and destroyed. So, goodbye, Tenpai Dragon Fadra. But only 1. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's gonna be any more damage being dealt. So we will see another attack there from the Tenpai Dragon Pydra. Now we'll see Sungen Kaimen during the battle phase, so both effects get to add and special summon a level 4 or lower Fire Dragon monster. This time grabbing the Tenpai Dragon Genroku from the deck. Deciding yes special summon or no not special summon. we are going to special summon. And then that's going to be another attack here. Won't be destroyed. 0 to 0 means nothing, even without Tenpai Dragon's Pydra's effect. That was enough attacks, so Sangenpai Biden Dragion appearing back on the field. No spells or traps necessarily to get rid of, except for the field spell. But this is more about picking away the opponent's resources, more so than it is trying to close in for game. A lot of attacks have happened with no damage, so it's not like we're trying to get through. And with the Pot of Prosperity, you know, it's already half damage anyway. Now we'll conduct another Synchro Summon here. So we're going to make the Trident Dragion here. Trident Dragion, the #1 finisher in Master Duel. Getting rid of the field spell and the Sangenpai Transcendent Dragion, who hasn't special summoned itself from the own effects. So we will see a triple attacking 6,000 attacker. They definitely could still attack through here as long as those last monsters can be gotten rid of. And so now with Sangenpai Biden, which means Trident, well, Transcendent Dragion. So many Dragions, but it's able to special summon itself out from the 3 attacks, destroy the Fadra. Now monsters can be destroyed by battle finally. Using the Tenpai Dragon Genroku's effect to go ahead and get it off the field and swap it out for the perfect piece of the puzzle, Tenpai Dragon Shundra, who's able to clear it out. So now, Trident Dragion attacks 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. And with 3,000s, that is definitely enough even through the Pot of Prosperity there. 6,000 attack by half. Still feels pretty good. So, Zhang showing exactly how they got this far in the tournament. Well, because this is technically the last set here, let's take a look at the other set of duels here too. Since we are finding out which of these 2 duelists advance, showdown each other, find out who faces the Shadow Duelist in the final showdown. Alright, so Kaito elected to go second here. Won the coin flip, so this is likely the second game of this set. So Aponix grabs Fire King Sanctuary. But that may be all she wrote. The Stolen Lockbird is discarded. Aponix becomes a Link Karibo. Slams down in the field. A Fire King High Avatar. Kirin destroys a sort of useless copy of Flamberge Dragon and turns that into an SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight. Slamming down there, does get to banish 1 card. Take a look at that graveyard. I guess we'll get rid of the Stolen Lockbird. You never know. It's a spellcaster. Could come up. Alright, so drawing for turn. Kaito slamming down the infinite permanents. Please no banishes. SP Little Knight, because here comes Tenpai Dragon Pydra. Pydra's going to try to do something, but remember, nothing. Technically, you've just opened up access to triple tactics talent here, but an effect veiler will also collide down in order to make sure that nothing happens. I mean, you might have done that a different way too, just to sort of chain block, but we'll see what the thinking of the strategy is. Again, I love that they're just playing on the base background. This is one of the highest profile Master Duels ever. And here we go. So it's just Pydra down to SP Little Knight, but it's a Pydra with a negated effect. Doesn't get to do anything more than that. Battle phase is entered. If there's a Sangen Kaiman in the hand, this turn could blow wide open. And there it is, Sangen Kaiman, quick play spell card. Really incredible play here, but Max C being discarded. Unless there's an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring to follow this up with. Whoa, okay, there is. Kaito decisively saying, no, I came here to duel, we're doing this. So, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring will negate the effect of Max C. No further drawn cards. Sangen Kaiman going to add that level 4 lower Fire Dragon monster from the deck to the hand and probably special summon it too, since it is the battle phase after all. Alright. There's the Tenpai Dragon Shundra on the field. So, Pydra going to go ahead and clear the SP Little Knight. Shundra at the start of the damage step, we've entered it, so it's time to special summon a level 4 Dragon Monster or lower, and so that's going to be the Tenpai Dragon Fadra. So, all 3 pieces. Let's see the combo. Fadra attacks, that's 1,600 off the top. Shundra for the 3rd attack, another 15. Now it's time for a quick synchro using Tenpai Dragon Shundra's effects. So who will it be? Will Fadra go away or Tenpai Dragon Pydra? Looks like Pydra is going to be the one who is synchro summoned off. We know what's coming. It's Sangenpai Biden Dragion. So the level 7 Masterful Synchro is here. Going to bring Pydra back onto the field for some new attacks. 2,600 directs. That'll reduce the life points pretty low. Sun is starting to set here. 1,700. And one quick synchro away. That is all she wrote for this duel. Just went in. I love how Boxer comments still on the screen. It still works. Yes, I fully believe that Tenpais could OTK through this board, which there isn't one, as New Fan is closed out from just some decisive use of the Infinite Impermanence to lock down the SP little item. So an effect filler is not enough. Taking a look at our in-room replays real fast. Kaito won twice against New Man. Kaito is going to the grand finals, which means we're checking in on Jaezong versus Rafa from the beginning to find out who will join them. That is incredible. Take a look at the bracket. The bracket should be updated soon. All right. So all serious music here. As Jaezong reveals Yubel Terror Incarnate, Samsuri Duelists putting those combo pieces back into the deck in order to bring out Phantom of Yubel. We're live now as Samsuri Duelists is normal summoned to the field, but before anything happens, Infinite Impermanence will be used against the Phantom of Yubel to make sure that, hey, if you're going to change my effect, you're not going to change it to anything. So, Samsuri Duelists, if it uses its effect, could get hit with anything from Ash Blossom, maybe a Max C, maybe there's a Nibiru the Primal Being in the hand of Rafa, but just really making sure. If you're curious about this monster over here, that is Snake Eyes Diabellstar. It's actually Poplar in its Goblin Biker form. Remember that Diabellstar the Black Witch was a Goblin Biker, and Goblin Bikers don't ride motorcycles, they ride other monsters, and so that effectively is the Poplar at its full power, which Rafa is going to need if he's going to escape this duel. So considering the options, oh my goodness. I mean, this is it. There's nothing further. Nothing comes after this. Rescue Ace Impulse. So still in the Rescue Ace. Definitely done some great things for Rafa throughout this tournament. We saw the 4-time usage there of the Rescue Ace Hydra. We're also going to see Max C and Impulse. Impulse allowing for a special summon, and then of course Max C penalizing every special summon with a newly drawn card by Rafa. So here comes the Rescue Ace Fire Engine, able to special summon one of the warrior type monsters, maybe grabbing an Airlifter for some additional support there. But speaking of additional support, Spirit of Yubel meant one more drawn card. So Spirit of Yubel's effect is going to activate here. Fire Engine is going to special summon a level 4 or lower Rescue Ace monster. Typically, those are the warriors, but it could be a machine. So we could see the Hydra out, just as a way to get it out quickly. But it is going to be Airlifter instead. So Nightmare Pain set to the field. Every special summon counts, every special summon hurts, and Rescue Ace already a deck known for just being able to put a lot of resources on the board for very cheap. Now using Airlifter to prove exactly that point, grabbing a copy of Rescue from the deck to the hand. So even if any of these Rescue Ace monsters were gone, they're going to be right back rescued soon. Speaking of soon, Nightmare Pain's flipped up, so soon we'll see a card destroyed in order to grab another Yubel out here, so it's likely going to be Spirit of Yubel destroyed. Spirit of Yubel gone, and we'll be bringing out Yubel soon with its effect, but another Spirit of Yubel added from the deck to the hand here, giving a little bit of insulation here. Spirit of Yubel, very powerful, very helpful. Notice, we didn't see the Yubel. Got to slow down the bleeding. No more drawn cards for Rafa with that Max C, so Jaezong conservatively sets 2 cards and ends their turn. Rafa draws for turn. Let's see what we got next. Still on a 45-minute timer, by the way, so we've got about 25 minutes left. So Rescue being used here. Bring back the Rescue Ace Impulse. Could be used as a material of some kind. Maybe we want to get something up. It looks like during the main phase, choosing an effect monster the opponent controls with the highest attack. 0 technically would be the highest attack, and trying to force out the Phantom of Yubel. So, all of a sudden, means that Phantom of Yubel not doing a whole lot there. Yep, neither player can activate that monster's effect now, so let it resolve. Wow, decided not to go ahead and try destroying the U-Bell cards there. Maybe worried about the triple tactics talent. It is on the sleeves, you never know. But we do see the tribute there in order to bring out the Rescue Ace Hydrant. So Rescue Ace Hydrant at the ready, using its effect to just show you how great this deck still is. Again, a lot of play of the Rescue Ace deck in various forms at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Open tournaments put on by Konami Asia in Singapore. A huge stream of that too, and it was mostly like Rescue Ace Fiendsmith mixes, just some great stuff. And some Malice, definitely some Malice. That'll be something that we can look forward to in the future, and maybe we'll see some Rescue Ace play again in paper Yu-Gi-Oh! On the TCG upcoming at the YCS Anaheim. But that's then, this is now. Always something to look forward to, but what we're looking forward to now is Rescue Ace Hydrant turning into Link Karibo. So Link Karibo, falling a little out of popularity, usage rate down to a measly 14.2%, but still helpful for sure. As these two Rescue Ace monsters become, ooh, that's something we don't see every day. It's a co-linked Nightmare Phoenix, discarding a card from the hand. Goodbye Infinite Impermanence there to get rid of the face down, and also get to draw a card because they do have that co-link. Nice little letter L there, destroying that face down card and drawing a single card off the top of the deck. Just great resource management. So let's see what we got next. Now you could make Decode Talker Heat Soul here just to try to draw more cards, like really push the envelope if you're reaching deep for something. And no, you don't have to worry about the Phantom of U-Bell swapping out any effects, so it's really just about that last face down. And if it was going to be something like an Infinite Impermanence or something that meaningfully could stop Rafa, probably would have been activated by now. So Rafa probably has a little bit of confidence, but you never know. Jason could just be the most patient duelist we've seen in quite some time. Just holding on to that card and be like, this is for real emergencies. Not your Rescue Ace emergencies, it's for these emergencies, and then flip that when it's time. Could be anything, could be Rivalry Warlords, could be there, could be only one, but neither of those cards too prevalent in a U-Bell deck, so could be an Eternal Favorite. We did see Eternal Favorite used early in the tournament in order to take advantage of the end of game procedures. Make sure to deal just that last little point of damage. It's a great card. I mean, I love U-Bell the Loving Defender forever. She loves you back. But in this case, we are seeing a Link summon here, and it's the Promethean Princess Bestower of Flame. Oh no, it's not! Nightmare Unicorn. I got a little too comfortable guessing just from the Link arrows there. Really making sure this is safe. Discarding a Max C and getting rid of the final set card here. It is an Infinite Impermanence. Jason is just a very patient duelist here. Go ahead and negate it, and turn off that column, which you could barely see. But now, this is the time. This is Rafa's moment. Banishing a monster. So goodbye Airlifter and hello Rescue Ace Preventer. Now you can't activate any of those effects. The U-Bell is still there, so the damage would still be reflected. So now we're seeing the next. And it's Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. That means that Rescue Ace Preventer's effect is going to activate, targeting that Rescue Ace Airlifter recently banished, special summoning it back to the field. It'll activate its effect now, allowing Rafa to add another spell card, grabbing Alert now. There's no Rescue Ace Hydra on the field, so you'll only be able to fish a Rescue Ace monster out of the graveyard. Speaking of taking monsters out of the graveyard, Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy special summons that wonderful subs for D-Lotus from Jaezong's field over to the arrow it needs to. Now there's 4 Link materials worth of monsters. Do you go for another Link 2? Maybe you banish the U-Bell card. A lot of different things you could do. I mean, they're doing a pretty good job of fighting the darkness as much as they are fighting the fire. Now I sound like Seto Kaiba, the darkness. Duel Links joke. But we will see that alert activated to grab one of the fallen Rescue Ace monsters. And it looks like it's going to take the Rescue Ace Fire Engine. Now that can summon itself when another Rescue Ace comes out. And here, such one comes. So, Rescue Ace, Turbulence, banishing 2 monsters. Turbulence about to blast those cannons of it. Sucking air in one, water coming out the other end. Making sure, and yeah, there's the Rescue Ace Fire Engine. So just a huge field presence here of great big monsters. You know that the Phantom of U-Bell is not going to do anything. Setting down, wow, the Rescue Ace HQ. powering up all these monsters, but you still have to get rid of the Phantom of Yubel if you're going to press through, or at least the Nightmare Pain. But again, we are going to recycle these 4 cards: Preventer, Alert, Rescue, and Emergency. All spells all the time. And thanks, LaShawn. You came in at a great time, because it is the best time of all. It's time to duel. Speaking of dueling, Rescue Ace Turbulence activates its effect to be able to set 4 different Rescue Ace spell or traps from the deck. So Extinguish. The first one. Contain. Alert. And Emergency. So Akai. Some people spell stuff out, but we don't know what the letters are anymore because they've been scrambled. So nobody knows anything. It's just that the one that's set in the Imperm column, if you do see Rescue Ace Hydrant, actually will be negated. So you want to be very careful of flipping that card over. Maybe just putting a card that you don't intend to activate there just to kind of hold that last slot. Hey, calm down, Yamayugi. The message doesn't spell final. But this is possibly the final duel that we'll get to see as Promethean Princess Bestower of Flame slams down the field, special summons the Rescue Ace Hydrant with its effect. All right, we'll find out. The tactic here seems to be another Link summon. Rescue Ace Airlifter combined, and we got ourselves a Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. So Raging Phoenix immediately being Link summoned off into World Sea Dragon Sea Lantis. Oh no, we're doing, yeah, okay, World Sea Dragon Sea Lantis. Good deal. And we're gonna banish, everybody goes up. And what goes up usually must come down. So Zealantis splashing down onto the field there. And Rescue Ace Turbulence as well. And finally, Rescue Ace Fire Engine in attack mode. But wait, there's more. Rescue Ace Hydrants also on the field. But notice something. There's no Phantom of Yubel, because Phantom of Yubel was special summoned. It wasn't fusion summoned. The 3,000 attack, there was a Spirit of Yubel the whole time. The Spirit of Yubel is going to show up here, and all the monsters must be attacked. Is Jaezong able to use the Spirit of Yubel to conquer things? But wait, Extinguish! Extinguish, not set in the Imperm column, being able to be activated because Rescue Ace Hydrant is on the field, able to flip it up. Rafa, fearless in his Rescue Ace play, and Jaezong surrenders. Just incredible. All right, catching up to see. Was that it? All right, there's Jaezong, there's Rafa. No, we still got one more game. We know that Kaito awaits in the grand finals. But there's still one more. How could there still be one more duel? Okay, this is it. Just incredible, just really well done, really good play there, you know. Didn't forget about the Spirit of Yubel, you know, there was that moment. But wait, you forgot about my monster's special ability. No, I didn't. Extinguish! You know, this is the Yu-Gi-Oh! We live for. Going back and forth, really interactive gameplay. Great combos, cool cards, really inventive stuff here. And looks like we are going to be playing from Jaezong's perspective, who I think was using the Evil Twin Live Twin field. So if they are, at least we'll get a jam for this last duel here. This is it. After this, only Ra knows, because we won't get to find out who the final 2 duelists results. Like, it's incredible that we've gotten this far. But we'll have to tune in on November 23rd, just like everybody else, to find out who wins. So, and man, oh man. Oh man, good luck to both of them. Because remember, whoever wins still has to face the Shadow Duelist. The Shadow Duelist has some skills that they are ready to employ. So, well, just tune in November 23rd. Mark your calendars. I'm not going to sleep for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm like, Shadow Duelist. Want to know who it is. I also want to know who wins, because this has just been such an exciting tournament. Hopefully you've had a great time. Hopefully you were enjoying the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. That's what the stream is here for. It's not just for you to hear the sound of my voice. It's for you to see some great dueling action. And every one of the 460 plus competitors we had did great this tournament. But it all comes down to this to find out who is going to be facing Kaito in the finals. Just double verifying that, making sure I'm not telling no fibs. Yeah, who will be facing Kaito in the finals, so just wild. Just wild. Oh, man. Okay. Same fake hype. This is just me being like, ah, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Someone's going to be the king of games of this tournament. And we had, you know, our semi-finalist from last tournament show up again in day 2, and they didn't make it. These duelists are making history all unto themselves. And they've only got about 2 minutes to side deck, so in just a moment here, yeah, there's Rafa. Let the games begin. We've made it. We've made it, duelists. We're here. We're here, and this is it. And it's really been a cool tournament. Again, just huge shout-outs to everybody who has worked so hard. The duelists, the competitors, the spectators. You guys are putting up with me. All right. Here we go, duelists. I hope you enjoy nail-biters of duels, because we are set for exactly that. Dueling from Jaezong's perspective here. All right, starting off with Pot of Prosperity. So we're really going to get to peek deep in what Jaezong decided. This is my final deck of the final duel before I get to the grand finals. And Mist Valley, Apex, Avian, Harpy's Feathers from Dimensional Fissure. Dimensional Fissure again, and Fluandereeze. Okay, heads up for sure, since everything has been very graveyard dependent. There's no Malice yet. So we're getting some good stuff done here, friends. So, yeah, adding Jack in the hand. Banish and Banish Services. Let's see if it pays off. This is either going to be a blowout of a duel, or, well, maybe it won't be. Jack in the hand revealing 3 level 1 monsters. Different names. And gonna go ahead, and your opponent is going to get to add one of them to the hand. You shuffle the 3rd into the deck. And the other one adds to the hand too. So Fluandereeze, Robina, Eaglin, Stree. That's so funny too. You can see like the unsleeved card over there. Judge. Teasing, of course. So wow, okay, looks like Eaglin getting added to the hand there. And the Eaglin it shall be. So, Eaglin gonna go ahead and grab Empath. And then we get to normal summon. So the next normal summon shall be Robina. Robina getting to add sort of the Stratos of the deck. Robina grabbing Toucan. And then another normal summon. Tribute 2 for Fluandereeze and Empath. Let's get a Fluandereeze Spell and Trap, shall we? And then Eaglin's effect, since there was a banished. Eaglin, we're going to have that added to the hand. So Eaglin to the hand. And see which one of the many wonderful Fluandereeze Spell and Trap cards they have. What a great migration pattern. So we'll find that from the magnificent map. Exactly where the Fluandereeze intend on going next. So, Fluandereeze the magnificent map activated. Go ahead and reveal level 1 Fluandereeze. Banish a level 1 Fluandereeze from the deck with a different name. And then, how's about a normal summon? Well, we would love to see Moltrami Purulia in the game right now, since Max C does nothing to this deck. So we go ahead and use our Fluandereeze and Tokan to go ahead and get that normal summon, of course. Got our banished Robina. Robina back to the hand. And then time for Tokan. Also get to drag the Fluandereeze and Dreaming Town to the hand. Set 2 cards. Don't do any more normal summons. Definitely going to activate the continuous spell card there. Just getting ready, I guess, shoring everything up with the unexplored wings. That's the end phase. So far so good. Pretty strong opening from Jaezong. Music's even pretty chill, right? We expected this to be an explosive final duel. And it's not disappointing, it's just going in a very different direction, right? It's exploding with kindness and calm. Fluandereeze, they get set up very easily. But we haven't seen a good Fluandereeze match in a while, so Rafa may have been sticking it out with the Rescue A strategy. We'll see if he is pulling out all the stops. Now we see how Jaezong might have gotten this far. And thanks, Dry. We appreciate that too. But no dry spell here. Just plenty of great duel in action as we continue here through our top 4. The last set of duels will be casted. You'll have to find out the climactic finale on November 23rd. More details forthcoming soon. So Rafa considering his options. I don't think he's going to be normal summoning any Fluandereeze cards, although you can see there's definitely one in his hand up there. But immediately when the Genroku is normal summoned here, I'm going to try to use the Magnificent Map. And Magnificent Map doesn't target, so Tenpai Dragon Genroku going to go ahead and tribute to Special Summon. Ah, but Harpy's Featherstorm negate any monster effect the opponent activates. So really, really penalizing pretty much everything from here. Fluandereeze is a great choice if you're going first to stop Tenpai. So Harpy's Featherstorm going to negate that Genroku. Still get a tribute summon. You baited your opponent into it. But you can also just normal summon. So here comes a Fluandereeze and Eaglen. So Eaglen's effect activates here. Soaring on in, showing Fluandereeze how to ride these skies. And we got Mist Valley Apex Avion. Could even tribute summon out the Apex Avion now to make sure that there is another negate at the ready. Just very principled, good Fluandereeze play. Eaglen and Tokan activating their effects. They did just get banished. Just a really interesting deck. Again, never really hitting the graveyard, never really special summoning any cards. A great counter pick. If you're into fighting games, right? You're like, I know he's going to play that, so I'm going to pick the weird stuff. Fluandereeze is not weird, but it is off the beaten path, right? It's flying through its own flock of weird effects. We're still in the semifinals. Hey, but if Jaezong advances, yeah, we could see Fluandereeze in the finals. Okay. So, entering the battle phase. Gonna be 27 twice. 5,400 is not bad, but it doesn't close this game out just yet. Oh, going to main phase 2. So nothing in the battle phase. Turn player passes. So Rafa yields everything, goes right back in, just checking to see if there's anything in the battle phase, maybe if they survive. But they may not be long for this world if they don't have a way out of this, because other than Mirror of the Primal Being for a really big play that Jaezong makes, there's not a lot of options you have to combat Fluandereeze, and with the Mist Valley Apex Avion, it's kind of difficult. So, Fluandereeze, the Magnificent Map, showing the migration paths again. Gonna banish and summon. So revealing that Fluandereeze Eaglen. Banishing the Stree there. And then getting a normal summon of the Eaglen. Eaglen having interesting stats. Never thought about the fact that it's 800, 1,000. Does that qualify as a Monarch's Vassal? But jokes aside, now we've got a banished Fluandereeze monster here, so let's go ahead and build the chain. Stree using its effect to get added back to the hand. And then Eaglen. Gonna go ahead and search out, wow, Rise of the Mega Monarch. And then normal summoning a Fluandereeze just the same. And so here comes Fluandereeze and Stree. Stree about to bury its head in the sand. Target a card in either graveyard, right? Literally burying its head in the sand and be like, oh, look what I found. So Stree gets to get rid of it. Sort of a walking DD Crow. Is still a winged beast, is still level 1. Goodbye Genroku. And that empties the graveyard, by the way. Notice that it's no longer lit up there in blue. Still gets that additional normal summon. A lot of different options to consider here, but tributing 2. And we are getting Rise of the Mega Monarch. Gets to target some cards here and bounce them around. Wow, gonna go ahead and bounce the Harpy Featherstorm back to be able to use it again. Just trying to lock the opponent out of anything. Very consistent, just principled play. Maybe he's sweating. Maybe he's just like, oh god, I don't even know what I'm doing here. But Jason seems like they know what they're flying. All right, the order of the top cards were changed. So, gonna place on top of the deck Toucan and draw a single card. Do we see a set? We're going to the battle phase. And this is enough. The Dimension Shifter discarded from the hand. What could it mean? And Max C discarded from the hand. Rafa showcasing that he had great options in his hand, but none of which could actually affect this duel as we're in the very last set. But using Bestial Magnuma technically to go ahead and get rid of the discarded Dimension Shifter, a dark monster in the graveyard, will help. Not all doom and gloom just yet if you're cheering for Rafa to try to clear his way from this top 4 to the top 2. Dimension Shifter in effect here. And try to be able to add something at the end here, but M-Pen getting the lick in. Hey, that's what Fluandereeze is for. 2,800 and then 27. No negates there from the Mist Valley Apex Avian, just cutting through the Snake Eye Flamberge Dragon's beautiful Divine Temple, and a set card and another set card. We could be seeing another Harpy Featherstorm. And, well, it is getting a little stormy here. And we do get to search out whatever custom card we need here at the end. And it is going to be Tenpai Dragon Genroku. We go and special summon that to the field. Could get negated by the Mist Valley Apex Avian, but doesn't look like anything happens. Going to empower it to be a level 4 tuner, tributing itself, and it's getting banished here. No response there, though, from Jason. Save gasps for real emergencies as he holds on to his negate. So Tenpai Dragon Pydra hitting the field. Maybe an opportunity to negate now. That seems like we're going to do. Mist Valley Apex Avian clearing itself from the board, flying big into the sky to say, nah, I don't think you're going to search any of those powerful cards. Destroying the Tenpai Dragon Hydra and banishing it. Does mean you no longer have to deal with the Mist Valley Apex Avian, but it could be showing up anyway, since there's so many great ways to normal summon on either turn. And speaking of which, we're certainly thankful for your support, but Rafa may not be thankful that the Harpy's Featherstorm was just activated by Jason. No activations are negated. So this may be really clinching out. Again, the M-Pen doing great stuff, entering the battle phase here. Going into main phase 2. Gonna go and set a card. Could be anything. But it possibly could be a Tenpai monster. Yeah, we'll see. Dimension Shifter no longer in effect here. No absolute banishes here. Now we're seeing Fluandereeze and Robina. Robina gonna try to do what it does best here. Shree thrown along for the ride. Shree back to the hand. And Fluandereeze and Robina getting to grab out somebody from the deck. Who's joining the flock? It is Toucan. Okay. Now we're using it. Oh, tributing off the face down there. So Mist Valley Apex Avian showing up. Tenpai Dragon Shundra now in the graveyard. M-Pen attacks directly. And Jae-Zong is going to the grand finals. Wow. Okay. 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 So that's incredible. Wow. Okay. So let's talk about who made it to the grand finals again. Taking a 2-1 victory, Jae-Zong moves up. And Kaito taking a 2-0 victory over Noobman 93 moves on. So Fluandereeze takes it. If you are a fine feathered friend, you can see the chat down the screen. Good stuff. However, that actually concludes our broadcast. I'm going to be good. I'm going to close out the stream too. So I'm not going to take a peek under the hood, which means on November 23rd, you'll probably see me on the chat too being like, oh my goodness, who's going to win? Because I mean it. Promise is kept. So what's happening on November 23rd? What did we even just do? We did the Shadow Duelist Tournament all the way from the top 32 to the top 2. And you know who your finalists are, right? As a reminder, if you don't remember who your finalists are, Kaito, and Jason. Good stuff. Great, 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 incredible stuff there with the 2-1 finish and the 2-0 finish. Just incredible stuff. So what happens on November 23rd? Make sure to follow Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on its official SNS channels, right? Social media. So that could be Twitter, X, that could be Instagram, that could be YouTube, that could be wherever. But they will be hosting a follow-up event on November 23rd, so we can find out who managed to get out alive of this tournament from the 2 duelists I just mentioned, and which of them is going to be challenging the Shadow Duelist. Do they win? Do they lose? Do they beat the celeb? Did they reveal the celeb? Did they win the mask? Tune in on November 23rd to find out. Because this is going to be incredible. I could not believe the caliber of duelists that we've seen. I'm inspired. I'm going to be on Master Duel all day, except in that room to find out and spoil the surprise for myself, because I want to know too, but I want to know the way you know. Hopefully you had an incredible time. Oh my goodness, like what a tournament we just got to see today. And again, if you like this stuff, if you want to see more of these tournaments in the future, let them know. You know, preach, tell people about this, show them the VODs going up on the YouTube channel. And hey, if you're watching from YouTube right now, hi YouTube, we love you. And if you want to watch live, well then we'll put the Twitch link and then you can just join us next time. But again, I'm Pheromone. This has been your top cut for the Shadow Duelist Tournament. And we'll see you November 23rd and find out what all the fuss was about and which of our fine duelists remaining advance. But until then, you know the drill, fam. You are all free now. Take care.